Hello, and welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters with slides that sometimes we have to record multiple times. I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
I am Alice Caldwell-Kelly. I'm the person who's talking now. My pronouns are she and her. Yay, Liam.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you too, buddy.
I love you so much. Hi, I'm Liam Anderson. I'm the one who's real mad at my insurance company today. Oscar Health, if you're listening, I implore your CEO to... You fuckers. $303 a month, and for what? Bullshit nothingness. Fucking horrible. Fucking horrible people. Absolutely terrible. Why do I even have to have health insurance? Just fucking Medicare for all, so I don't have to deal with this bullshit. Medicare for all.
Thanks, Obama.
What's your pronouns?
He and him.
Cool.
And angry.
We have two guests this time.
We have two guests.
Yeah. Guests, who are you? What are your pronouns? What are you doing here?
Shall I start? My name is Gareth Dennis. My pronouns are he and him, and I am here to make it really expensive for us all to be assassinated.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the episode that gets us all killed.
The podcast that kills you instantly.
The podcast that kills all of its hosts instantly.
I have a family. This is my disclaimer. I have a family. Don't kill me.
I kind of don't. You could probably kill me with like pretty low repercussions, but you know, please don't.
No, don't do that.
Toast. I have same problem. I'm not even going to announce myself. I know what's coming next. No, fine. My name's Angry Scooter. My real name is redacted. My pronouns are not and responsible for this. But also
that's not a pronoun joke either. You literally have to like redact your pronouns because they're identifiable.
For those for the few liberals that'll get mad, it's they them. It's just I know what's coming. It won't matter at the end of this.
Do you have a disclaimer first before we start? Before we
God
are
damn
all
it,
killed?
I forgot the disclaimer already. I'm so dead.
The disclaimer is that you don't represent anyone. You're not saying anything to anyone about anything.
It's in the notes. It's in the notes. It's Scooter. For the love of God, do not forget to say I am not here representing anyone, including the former company or companies I have worked for. My opinions are of my own and not of anyone else's that I know. I am not responsible for the deaths of the people in this podcast. They were all solid state of mind. And lastly, that legitimately, and the actual one, that I was an individual on a trip helping some people. Some stuff happens. There were miscommunications. It happens. It just got real fucky. We're not going to talk too much about the fucky part, but in a place where the journalism's kind of fucky,
I'm going to talk about the fucky part, but that's my problem. Yeah. That's the thing that gets me assassinated.
I am not going to talk about the fucky stuff.
No.
There we go.
Yeah. What you see on the screen in front of you is a meme from the film Super Troopers.
Great movie. Yep.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about...
That's my boss grabbing me to do what's about to happen. It's a screenshot.
What we're going to talk about is AMLO's other pet railroad project, the Corredor Interoceánico del Istmo de Tehuantepec. I'm not
gonna get between your pronunciations, the drops that I have queued up, Liam's sort of general disrespect for all nations and peoples. We already have enough reason for AMLO to have all three of us assassinated and not lose a wink of sleep over it.
I was about to say, the pronunciations have not gotten better the second or third time I've had to say that.
I have a child.
Yeah, you do. I feel like periodic reminder is honestly a good idea.
Just like, please do not kill Gareth Dennis, friend of the show.
This is an absolute disaster incoming, and I have a child.
Yeah.
People will die. I have a child. Yes.
But before we talk about that, we have to talk about the goddamn news.
Again.
Okay. Yeah, so Gareth and I have just finished recording an hour and change of Trash Future, and then 20 minutes and change of this podcast where we just talked about this. So yeah, let's do more of that. We have fucked HS2, High Speed 2, the UK's allegedly prestige rail project that was allegedly going to take you from London all the way to Manchester on a very high speed train. And now it's probably not going to do any verb in that sentence anymore, or any of the nouns. Probably some of the prepositions.
Yeah, I'm so angry about this. I mean, this has been an inevitability for at least 2 years. The Conservative government, in it as it's evolved into becoming just basically a load of right-wing internet memes, it was never going to deliver this. So, 2 years ago, we had the Integrated Rail Plan, which was basically a load of bullshit where they hid the fact they cancelled 25% of the project. They've now cancelled, actually more than that, about 40% of the project. They've cancelled another 20% of the project today. By all intents and purposes, this means that HS2 overall is now dead. They've left the thing from London Euston up to Birmingham Curzon Street. They are building, and in fact, Alice and I have already talked about this extensively for 50 minutes. Alone, Euston itself is also being built deliberately small. So, table stakes that the Tories have cancelled this. What has surprised even me, I thought I was, angry and cynical enough that nothing surprised me anymore about this, but they're essentially proposing to and intend to get rid of all the safeguarding of the route. So they're not just cancelling it, but they're ensuring that it can never be built. They are getting rid of all the safeguarding. They are selling off the land. They are basically sacking everyone. They're destroying HS2 Limited as an organisation, and they're also building London Euston, where they have a huge amount of land purchased, construction currently underway. They're going to basically build flats on half of it, but without providing any passive provision to build platforms underneath, to make sure that station can never be big enough to build the rest of HS2. This is fucking pure spite stuff. Oh, sorry, this is spite stuff. It's
pure evil. It's absolutely
really bad.
Reprehensible.
Well, it's not quite pure. The thing that's pure evil is all the transphobia that's that they've been pumping out of the CPC. But yes, this is really bad. This is the only long-term thinking Britain has managed to muster in the last 15 years.
And obviously it's gone over they've long-term thought about how to fuck you over.
Correct. So yeah.
Credit where credit's due to.
Think about all the money they're going to save and what wonderful projects they're going to use it on, like building the tram line that already exists to Manchester Airport.
Yes.
Yeah. Or also more lanes on motorways, or not even more lanes,
the
just
M6
resurfacing.
is getting widened with the money for this. Yeah. And
cool.
So 70 road projects and a smattering of public transport projects that, as Roz says, have already been built. Yeah. This is like fucking amateur shit. This is quite. I'm very angry about this, everyone. Actually, this is a problem, because how angry I am about this is possibly an alibi and a justification for me. I'm just going to say I'm sound of mind. I'm healthy. I have a child. I have no intentions of
Yeah, you're worried about the Mex. It's the British rail that's going to get you.
No, they can't, because we can't do anything in this country.
Yeah, if you went and you lay down on the tracks, absolutely voluntarily and not with several Mexican external special forces personnel around you waiting to get hit by a train, just nothing would happen because there's no trains anymore.
We have a joke about
opinions
that
are theirs, not mine.
But this will allow for a real long-term investment in Britain's future by saving enough money to provide every person in Great Britain with one British Rail sandwich.
Delicious. Yeah. We're all getting the sort of mandatory ploughmans.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the most short-sighted things I've seen in infrastructure, and that's saying something because I live in the United States.
Don't worry, we're going to get this in a few years. It's coming with Amtrak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you want more on this, there is a trash feature coming out very soon where Alice and I and friends have become very angry about this.
Yeah,
plus some other guys. Yeah,
you can also go listen to some Rail Natter about this.
Yeah, the next 16 episodes of Rail Natter are going to just be about this. So yeah, look forward to
it's
that.
just you screaming.
Yeah, just me holding down the swear button for an entire hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man after my own heart.
In other news. Yeah.
Oh yeah, brains.
Yeah. Brains. Yeah.
We all shook hands with Brain Joe.
The entire
you beat me to it.
Yeah. That joke was even funnier the second time.
Yeah, because we had to redo this.
This is actually good because now that we're all zombies, we can't be killed.
Yeah,
that's true.
This is
You're not
true.
zombies.
This is true.
You're not zombies.
So-
This is the American emergency alert system that went off.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I'm still actually a human. It's Liam and Roz that.
Yeah, but you're the ones
yeah.
that lost your brains. So who it's debatable.
It's the American.
I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every moment of it.
So President Joe Brandon activated the big Microsoft vaccine chip button in the Oval Office.
The Torment Nexus. Yes.
Yeah. And so every American with a phone that was on got the presidential alert that like shit's going down. And it zombified everybody.
It zombified everyone. And
It's the 5G.
I tell you what, I was smart. I went to the grocery store, stocked up on brains beforehand. I mean, I didn't have to wander the streets. I told my broker, I said, my whole portfolio, put it in brains and brain futures. I'm rich. I'm the richest zombie on my block now.
You're like an early crypto adopter, you know?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I may diversify. Just now, I think, there is a brain bubble. Let's get real.
Yeah.
But
there's some Welsh gags in here because they have a beer called Brains. So for all Welsh scriptwriters, get going.
And also let these two try your beer, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the goddamn news.
We're holding it together. Oh, a shout out to Devon, of course, who has made a little pop happen and said hello to you all. Devon, this is hell. We can only apologize.
Yeah, this is going to be what we've delivered is a sort of bundle of threads, which Devon is going to have to sew together into a Bayer tapestry of podcast.
Yes. Okay, so you can see there's already some annotations here from the first run through of this podcast.
John Madden, hooray!
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
We got to talk about what is the Ferrocarril Istmo de Tehuantepec.
There we
You're
go.
also inflicting this dreadful P-way on me again.
Pronunciation didn't make me want to just die.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Sorry. The Ferrocarril Istmo de Tehuantepec.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to pronounce nothing. Anyway.
The Tehuantepec Isthmus Railroad.
Yeah, and you can see on the screen here there's some track here, which now
it's missing one of its fundamental ingredients.
You're missing
ballast.
you're missing an ingredient here.
Do you mean to tell me that you can't just dump a railroad like on the ground and expect it to just kind of like settle, you know?
Yeah, they've just missed a bit. They've just missed when you accidentally like drop some flour or some egg on your recipe. They've just kind of done that on like one of the major ingredients of the railway.
We'll
Yeah,
get
it's not
to
great.
why they are doing that in a couple of slides, but it's exactly what you think is all I can say.
Yeah.
Good.
So this is actually a fairly old railroad. It was built in 1894, then rebuilt in 1907. This is sort of part of a project we're going to build a railroad across the narrowest part of the isthmus from Salina Cruz down here on the Pacific to Coatzacoalcos, which is up here on the Atlantic in the Gulf of Mexico, right?
Yeah, it's like a fond sort of dream of Mexican internal colonialism, right? Like ever since the Porfiriato, before the Panama Canal even is like, Mexico is going to take control of all of the trade between the Atlantic and the Pacific by building a railroad that goes through Veracruz and Oaxaca. And you just load all your stuff onto one port, put it on a train, take it off at the other port. The fact that this goes through like very indigenous areas of Mexico, the fact that this is like very bad terrain, these are just challenges in the sort of great romantic struggle of the Mexican people for, modernization.
Yeah, once again, we see that train can be problematic, folks.
Train cancelled.
So-
train cancelled.
Oh no.
The big issue with
Again.
this theory,
Yeah.
which-
Let me tell you about HST.
Yeah.
the big issue with this theory, which remains today, of course, is that it turns out taking things off a ship and putting them on a train and then taking them off the train and putting them back on a ship is pretty inefficient compared to just running the ship straight through, right?
Yeah.
Which
The
is what-
laserized Teddy Roosevelt appears on screen,
Exactly. So, the Panama Canal just ate this thing's lunch in 1914. There's just basically no reason for it.
Will continue to eat its lunch in 2023. It's just like overflow capacity for it, kind of.
Well,
If only they'd invented the box by this point.
Yeah, it gets a little weirder when you invent the box and you invent oil refineries.
Yes.
That's where things get weird.
So this is used extensively for moving supplies during the Mexican Revolution, but afterwards freight traffic sort of drops off. They still run passenger trains on it under the Nacional de Mexico, which is, the nationalized railroad in Mexico, until it was privatized in the 90s.
I miss the Año de Ame, but then again, everyone does, and that's why AMLO is like on his sort of like railroad thing,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then after that, the corridor was not used very much for freight or for any reason at all. Essentially falls into disrepair over 30 years. I think there's like a southern portion that was operating and a northern portion that was operating, but the middle was gone.
You have to mention who was operating it.
It's
the evil Orange Empire.
The Orange Empire, Genesee and Wyoming. Yeah.
The only worst thing that can happen to it than nature itself.
It sort of like becomes a line that brings oil products to a plastic factory and then brings the plastic pellets back to the port.
And yet a trace of the false self.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
A trace of the true self remains the false self, yes.
So then they elect this guy named Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, right?
Yeah, he's better than the other guy.
Yeah.
And the other guy.
And the other guy, yeah.
And the other guy.
He's big on this stuff like domestic development, control of natural resources, development of industry. They elect him in 2018.
Yeah. AMLO is what you might call an idiosyncratic.
He's a man of
leftist.
He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's the phrasing of people I know. He's Mexico's Trump, but a liberal, which is a very scary statement when you think about it. The rich people hate him unless they're uber rich, then they love him. The poor people love him unless they're uber poor, then they hate him. It's a very odd situation from somebody from the dumbest country on the planet. And it's only made even worse by the structure he was elected into with previous leaders. Things are pretty.
No, it's like the long legacy of Pre and like all of the other stuff is like you can kind of get a lot done by fiat for better and worse.
But you also have the no one will tell you no.
Yeah.
No one will tell you no. And AMLO's getting the well, let's do the best thing we can do. And everybody's like, yes, sir. We have no idea how, and it just keeps happening.
Yeah, let's embark on
together.
Let's embark on these two big train projects because he likes trains. He's a train guy.
He's a train guy. Yeah, I respect that.
Critical support.
Yeah. Two big train projects. Tren Maya, which is handed entirely to the army. And then this one, the Transoceánico, which is handed to the Navy.
The Navy, of course, because ports.
Because the army are busy delivering Tren Maya.
Yeah, competent institutions of the Mexican state after 20 years of drug war, army and Navy, and kind of that's it. Like,
oh, that is goddamn depressing.
Yeah, well, if you didn't like it, you shouldn't have funded like hundreds of millions of dollars of drug war.
Yeah,
I didn't try it.
Do they have an Army Navy football game down there? Do you think?
There would be death.
Probably a soccer
Lots
game,
of death
but almost
if they did.
It'd be
what railway are the Air Force
football.
delivering?
The Mexican Air Force doesn't really exist.
Air Force does F-86s. Yeah.
It doesn't even have that. It has like one propeller plane that they like occasionally wheel out to try and like bomb some like drug lord's compound. It's purely like a counterinsurgency aircraft.
No, during the Mexico Day parade, they brought in a bunch of ones to the airport, and they were all stuff that I saw in my history books on the Cold War. And they had smoke machines and stuff. I think it was their only 4, but they had them.
Were they up or were they like on floats?
Oh no, they flew.
Wow.
I saw pictures of them after I was on my way to Canada.
I didn't think there was enough 100-mile-an-hour tape in the world, but okay. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
Congratulations to the Mexican Air Force for existing.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked, what railroad are they delivering then? That's
they're
the
going to
open
do.
question.
They're doing the Mexico City suburban rail.
Airport
everyone,
connector.
right into the PO box.
Yeah.
It's pretty much. I mean, we'll get there. Pretty much what it is turning into is the answer to the Panama Canal Railway. They're building two massive ports, which we'll get to, but they're building two massive ports. And then this also, unlike the Panama Canal Railway, connects to the United States-Canada rail network. So you can take stuff and send it north instead of putting it back on the boat and sending it, which does make sense. It's a genius idea.
That does make sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Until you get into what it's going to carry and where it goes, I guess is the way to put it.
Roz, can you do me a favor and press the letter E on your keyboard?
Oh, I see.
Why is there a plane like a World War II aircraft
I assume.
south of...
So no, that's the airport that you have to get to Coatzacoalcos in
Minatitlan?
in Militan. Yeah. That's the only airport in that area. And no, Salina Cruz does not have a little plane.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love to get on the boat at Salty Cross.
So one of the things which
I feel safe doing this.
Yeah.
now, when you think about projects that are designed for, like, I don't know, climate resistance and national independence, stuff like that, you think, this would be something that's facilitating clean energy or, like, so on and so forth. No, this is mostly a petroleum development project when it comes right down to it.
Of course it is.
There's a lot of oil refineries. There's at least 2 oil refineries. There's a big plastic plant on here. One of the big parts of the project that's seen the most resistance is they want to put 10 industrial parks along the line, which presumably would tap into all those oil products that you can easily get from the refineries.
So we're just going to clear cut a bunch of jungle in order to do this. In a long, fine tradition of Mexican and not exclusively Mexican tradition of leveling up, which is we're going to take all of your grass headdresses off of you, and now you work in an oil refinery that is poisoning all of your land. And that's modernity. You're welcome.
You can become a hombre de process.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a lot of this is just going to be for local traffic from those big industrial parks, which are going to go out to either the port, or they're going to go north to the United States, or they're going to go north to other bigger manufacturing sites in Mexico. Monterrey, places like that, where all the heavy industry is. And so this is sort of the economic development plan, right?
You need to get the oil to the cheese factory to make the cheese all oily.
Oh yeah, you gotta make that government cheese.
That was a Monterey Jack reference. Sorry, I just
it was very good.
I see. Okay, I get it now. Shit, I wish I had gotten the joke earlier. Okay. That went completely over my head. That was like a cheese wheel rolled down a hill and off a ramp.
I want some cheese now, and possibly also Mexican food.
We're gonna get so hungry by the end.
Oh yeah, this episode is gonna go on for a long time. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh, yeah.
I will. So don't worry. We will resort to cannibalism.
We should start speeding up in the amount of slides we go through soon.
No, I hope not.
The next 2 are a lot easier. Just go.
Exactly. So, Scooter, I don't know if you can speak on this or not, but you mentioned that passenger service as a component of this came onto the project fairly late.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there, I promise.
So, but this was started in 2019. Design speed of 45 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour for passenger trains. They were also going to...
Sorry. I should also say part of the point of this also is it has to be done by next year or else, because AMLO is going to be out of office. You get 6 years. It's a 6-year term, I think. And these are his 2 big projects, Trenmaier and this. And if they're not both done, then he's going to look like a piece of shit, and he doesn't want to look like a piece of shit. So it's very important that it be done.
Well, there is a third, the Mexico City Airport, which got canceled and moved, and it's not looking.
That was
like
originally
PR
Peña Nieto's thing, wasn't it?
It was, but with the cancellation, it's really clogged up Mexico City, and it's not looking great. So it's even more important that these get done.
Yeah.
Also, very funny that, incidentally, aviation security in Mexico done by the Navy. Remember what I said about competent institutions?
Oh,
This
boy.
comes in later.
Yeah. So it's not just the Isthmus Railway that's being built as part of this. There's a line that goes further east over here to the Tabasco border. There's a line down here that's supposed to go out into Chiapas and eventually link up with the very badly maintained Guatemalan railway network. But they've been making noises about fixing that up and converting it to standard gauge.
Yeah, try to go ahead. Try to run a railroad through Chiapas. Set records for the most blown up track. You know.
Gotta have one of those indigenous owned railways for that section. You know, you have to sort of gotta make a deal. You gotta bring out deals AMLO for that one.
Mr. Two Damn Deals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Subcomandante Marcos comes on, checks all your tickets. You know.
And this is not Tren Maya, but it's supposed to connect with Tren Maya somewhere in Tabasco. We'll get to that later. Yeah. So now this is a relatively recent picture of the railway. I
like all the guys going like, "Oh man,
maybe we shouldn't have run a train on bare ass naked track."
Yeah.
See all these nice new concrete ties, which are now useless because the wheel has just taken a groove out of the middle. Well, we'll show some before pictures. So this is the sort of railway it is. You can see the two rails here going through this.
That's technically a railway, isn't it?
Going through this lovely market.
It's beautiful. You know, I love Mexico. I genuinely do. I love to visit and get killed.
Yes, and not get assassinated. Let's hope.
Yeah, truly.
Don't kill us.
I really want to go to Mexico City, but again, the problem is I don't want to get like sort of kidnapped, black bag, thrown into a. Well, okay, I don't. Not by the Mexican government.
Yeah, Alice, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disclaimers, please.
Yeah. Disclaimers, please.
So this is one of the parts that was bypassed, but you know, the state of the track in areas that are not bypassed is also pretty,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does this picture scare you, Gareth? Because this is something I've seen with my own two eyes recently.
This isn't. I mean, this is where I get a bit. This doesn't look. I mean, you could. It's not. The road crossing is not great. There is no clear flangeway there. That's not good. But the ballasted track there for the speeds we're talking about, which are, I'm going to be honest, trundly, that's not too bad. Like, the ballast looks all right there.
I do think
kind of like, as long as you take it easy on this, you can like...
I would say that 45 miles an hour for freight is taking it easy, but then I suppose North America does life differently on this one, right?
I mean, you know, one of the big things that they seem to have difficulty with in Mexico is weed control on railroads.
Yes. Was that a drugs joke?
Yeah. But this is...
Wait, I have the drop from Clear and Present Danger for this.
Oh, sí, señor.
One of the drops that gets me assassinated.
And you kind of deserve it. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, surely.
Not more smashed up P-way.
So this is where we get into why all of that matters. So what they have done, because this was we'll build you a freight railroad. Oh, wait, we have to build a passenger train too? Oh, no. They brought Placer in from Germany and pretty much pulled all of their support staff in to help assist them building a railroad through the jungle from scratch. And but they also have to run the train.
Yeah, there's
so
still
you get these.
Yeah, there's still a couple trains that run on it.
There is space for them to just build the track next to it. Why? What? Why didn't they just run the existing track and then build the new track next to it? There's so much space here.
Because there's a level of no one expected this to go. One, and two, the people that were working on it, there's a level of incompetence, like an extreme measure.
Like, yeah, the cheap thing to do here is to leave the existing track right where they are. Don't even rip them up afterwards. Just leave them as they are and lay the new track next to it. This is, when you're talking about the mileages here, the cost of replacing the existing track is far more than just laying new track 3 or 4 meters next to it. Like that's fine. And if there are constraints, if there are areas where the constraints are tight, okay, then you plan to replace it. But we're talking about such huge distances here that for the most part, just leave the existing tracks there. And then when you move over to the new rails, just leave the existing track where it is. And you know what? Maybe in the future they can turn it into double track railway, even if they, for shits and giggles.
Well, no, they got to do it now, this year.
I'm really enjoying, because of the presidency, I'm really enjoying these sleepers on the top right that look like they were put in like when there was still an emperor of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones look like a 1700s tramway tie made from a log split.
It looks like they got pulled off of a sunken ship.
Yeah, that's what most of this railroad was, though. You got to remember that. And because they didn't run it across, they didn't want to go through when they didn't have the traffic to support it. But as soon as that gateway was open, it was send it now. So you get into this section where you have sections of cordwood and then concrete ties, like literally transitioning in that picture. I wish I had more, but people with cell phones in the center of this railway where this is common, they're like 2 megapixel flip phones.
Oh yeah.
So like, if we all wanted to go blind, I could have put them in, but no.
Yeah, so there seems to be
a staggering 11 pixels.
There seems to have been several of these accidents where that they've had a revenue freight train go over this unballasted brand new concrete tie right away and just wreck it just instantly.
I should also say, because this is a big national project and because people take interest in it, it has a PR budget. It has sort of like, very senior people attached to it, both politically and within the Navy, all of whom have staked their reputations on this, all the way up to AMLO. And so the official line on this is that this is, I believe, now 90% completed.
Yes.
Thus, sending trains through, because this is what 90% completed looks like. No.
A lot of the sources that I read, at least in English language media, were saying it was 90% completed, like in May.
Oh, you can find them in Spanish too.
Yeah,
I had a look.
Does not
sort of like press releases.
Does not seem to be the case.
No.
Reputational risk is I suppose a good kick in the ass, but
yeah. Well, exactly, Liam. Reputation's one thing, but safety, not just of the train, but like it literally looks like a service train has run into a construction site. So, do we know anything about the workers on this? Are all the workers okay?
They would clear out. They cleared out. It's just they were told to clear out. You will finish the rails and leave.
Yeah, there is a train like actively barreling towards you. You do not.
No, more like
working.
no. More of the train is coming, whether you like it or not. Don't tell me it's not ready.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
This is a railroad that's operated on a need-to-know basis.
Oh god,
you joke.
Top secret, do not look.
So the one thing about this that I've heard from others is that it has never really been a plan for any of this. So it's more of a, you handle this, I'll handle this, I'll handle this. Freight train runs on, the 5th. Hey, send it. Oh, no one told.
So this
no
is like
one
me
told
in
Joe.
Transport Fever when I'm like building a new track and I forget that there's a train halfway along the one I'm deleting, and then I can't delete the track under it.
Correct.
And it's a whole big thing. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then there's another problem that has slowed down the track program. And at this point, I'm going to walk downstairs and totally ignore the conversation from here on out.
Yeah, just
slide,
step
please.
out for a minute as we go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned before that this part of southern Mexico is both dirt poor, very indigenous, at times very radically political. We mentioned Chiapas and the Zapatistas a little bit. That there are a lot of people who are not positively disposed to sort of big, let's say, national imperial projects of building a shitload of industrial parks and a train, assuming those things even worked, just over this land.
Yeah, you've had a lot of active protest against this. the industrial parks, especially because you are, taking a lot of land. The proceeds from these industrial projects are not going to be equally distributed in a way they probably should. There's going to be probably a lot of environmental damage. And again, a lot of this is going to be used to facilitate fossil fuel infrastructure expansion. So, this is kind of...
oh, sure.
As much as we're pro-train, sometimes... maybe you should go about a project in a different way.
Just don't do internal imperialism with the train.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
There's at least one protest where folks were pretty extensively beaten up for protesting a new industrial park. There's at least one person who may have been murdered in connection with protesting the distribution of resources.
Your Mexico classic of being like, hey, you were supposed to pay a bunch of money to this town to essentially for eminent domain. Where has it all gone? 2 weeks later, found dead in garbage dump, sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, something for all of us to look forward to. And yeah, it's
Gareth has a family.
This is also
I cannot stress enough. I have a child.
Local and state police, in Mexico, perfectly capable of doing that kind of thing. But it's also not something that's helped by dumping a bunch of the Mexican Navy and Marines on top of this. Marines who are again chiefly sort of responsible for the drug war, which has seen a lot of government perpetrated extrajudicial killings so this is not something in which they're necessarily going to be shy about the use of force to keep stuff out of the headlines.
Yeah, they're pretty good at using intimidating tactics, and they don't hesitate to use them. So this has just been forced through. Anyone who doesn't like it can sit down and shut up.
Yeah, and or be disappeared, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and lots of time for AMLO seen here to have a look at the ports in Coatzacoalcos or Salina Cruz and walk around and get photographed and shake hands with a lot of admirals and be like, this is 90% done, cool.
Yeah. Now, with that in mind, for all the background on this project, let's get to some background before we get into the ordeal.
I can't believe we're gonna get killed.
I enjoyed not being killed.
Oh, hey, I'm back. Hi.
Hey, you didn't miss anything.
Good timing.
nothing
It's
happened.
amazing.
We didn't say anything.
It's my slide, even. It's wonderful. It's the thing I know. Not about. I don't know anything about the last slide. Nothing.
No.
Haven't heard about it. Anyway, so when you have a bunch of people that aren't super excited for the train to come through when it's a freight train, and they've been starved of their Amtrak for years. They're the equivalent of Amtrak for years.
Yeah, the Enneadame.
What do you do? You go, well, we'll give you one. You want one? We'll do it. The government will do you a passenger train. And so all of a sudden, there's as part of the project, but they never thought would happen. Let's do a passenger train. But we'll get there. So we're at the point of why I'm here.
Yeah.
So what you see is the private car, the American private car. These are Amtrak certified cars that can run between point to point on Amtrak, can run with an Amtrak train or run as a charter. They have an insane inspection schedule, way above what a normal commuter railroad would operate to an extent. The costs are ridiculous. The subtext is ridiculous, but that's all because of, at the end of the day, you're on a train full of revenue passengers that if your private car has some silly jerry rig that causes it to go sideways, you're taking 300 paying passengers with you.
Yeah, it's a fun sort of quirk of American libertarianism that you can just get your own train car if you have enough money.
Yeah,
it is cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it is cool.
Well, it stems from the days, like you see the Illinois Central car in the corner. It stems from the days where the railroads would have their own private cars, the business cars, that they would just slap on the back
of the railroads can't just be walking around because some anarchist's going to try and stab him with a sharpened steel file.
This went all the way down to division chiefs. You could have a guy that's like a superintendent that has his own car to go over the division. You just slap it on the back of a freight train. And the Canadian National still does that, and it's cool as hell when they do it. But and most of the time now, it's either you only have a business train or you run a couple cars as part of a geometry train. But they still exist, and there's a lot of preservation groups that have them in the United States, like the 261 cars there in the right-hand corner, or URHS that has the 20th Century Limited in the left-hand corner. I put all this stuff in like one slide, so we weren't here for 7 hours.
We're going to be here for 7 hours.
Well, I'm trying. And then there's like Georgia 300 in the right hand. That's what Obama used. He's the last president to use it, but it's main. That one is like set up for whistle stop tours. So, which after January 6th, I don't think we're ever going to have again, but we'll see about that. Yeah, big F, because I was going to be involved with the one. So big F.
Bummer.
Oh, well. But these are not just for rich assholes, although they can be for rich assholes.
Oh yeah,
right.
Some people own them. Liam tried buying one at one point, or looked at one.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
that
when we
one.
got drunk
Not
on power
that
from like
one.
podcast
Not
money.
That one. Anyone but that one.
I really want a WTYP train to exist now. That would be absolutely sensational.
Our budget did not stretch to like hand cart.
Yeah. But when you look at these, you go, oh, that would be nice to really show off with. So, and where we get to why I'm here is next slide, please. I work with them. That's my job. That's unfortunately been my job since I got into the career field. Do I like it? No, I hate fucking trains at this point. But it just, my first job was working at the company that Mitch McConnell's largest donor owns. Largest former donor. He's dead now. Rest in peace, Brian. But he has a tourist railroad, but also did the private cars. So you see like the golden goose on the one side and then the shitty little, rust buckets on one. You're like, man, I want to get to that. I was wrong. I was fucking wrong. So I worked for Ringling Brothers at one point. I worked for the circus, trained for a minute. I worked for Amtrak. I'm an engineer, conductor. But mainly my job has always been managing passenger car mechanical and operations. So in this picture, you see what pretty much everything I've done the last like 4 years with company redacted. I don't care if you can see it. But the company I work for is owned by one guy, just a guy. And cool. He goes to the auction. He goes to auctions. He goes to deal with people he's worked with in the past. And he's just gotten lucky a few times too. So at one point we owned Amtrak's Ocean View, and it went to Western Maryland Scenic Railway, ran behind a steam engine. Now Canadian National owns it. We bought the first 3 Amfleets from Amtrak to be sold that were able to be operational. For all of you screaming on the side of your computer that Amtrak should never have sold them, well, they all had heavy derailment damage and could never have been re-Amtrak certified. So
you are like dealers in and refurbishers of
and leasers
of second-hand rail cars.
Pretty much, like
go in and hit them with the hammer until they look nice again.
Yeah, the second-hand market's like mostly cars from the 20s up. But we're getting into like a turning point where like back in the 70s through 90s, they were selling cars like crazy because of Penn Central. I know you're familiar with that. Because of Penn Central and Amtrak and then in the 90s getting, finally having all the Amfleets delivered, the Superliners delivered. Well, we're 30 years removed from that, and we're now getting into the next big like stuff's too damn old to be running, so we're going to buy new. Well, where's all the old stuff go? So
okay.
So we are like the first group to really like catch that wasn't a donation or something. But so that's what we do, is mainly operate and lease these cars. We sell them sometimes. We sold them once recently. We'll get there. And then we also help operate the Polar Express, which, real quick, is the most profitable thing in railroading that isn't running a freight train. You print money with that, and oh boy, do they fucking got it.
What the hell is the Polar Express?
So in the 2000s, Warner Brothers made a movie based off a book called The Polar Express, where a kid gets kidnapped by a conductor, goes on a magical, mystical ride where he drifts a train across a lake and meets Santa, and then almost gets thrown off the top of the train by a hobo. That's at least what I remember of it.
Also, the conductor threatens to throw him off the train in motion because he misplaced his ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. So they made this movie. It's very, very 3D animated. And
this is the one with the like fucked looking Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fucked looking Tom Hanks movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Tom Hanks also has a child. Anyway, so
it's so funny if the one consequence of this is Tom Hanks is assassinated by the Mexican government.
Oh, that would suck. I would feel bad.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Imagine the Chet Hanks vlog.
God damn it. So anyway, the Polar Express. The reason it prints so much goddamn money is you can watch the movie and then you can take your kid on it and do it. And they sing, they dance, they do all kinds of shit. Well, when you sell $40 a ticket for a shitty coach seat inside a shitty car that's about to fall apart, you make a lot of goddamn money doing that all of December. The Polar Express that I know somebody that works on in St. Louis makes like millions a year and runs from this year. We'll be running from like November 15th or so through the first weekend of January. Every fucking
this is the way the UK heritage rail sector survives as well, right? It's two things. It's Thomas trains where they put plastic faces on locos, and it's running the Christmas trains where you put Santa Special on your heritage railway. Yep. Literally pays for everything, like particularly the Christmas ones. Exactly, they pay for everything. People want their mince pie, and they want a fat janitor playing for Santa Claus to touch their children.
That's like
and they pay good money for it.
Fucking sentence, man.
Yeah, every fucking heritage railroad in the United States does this. Every single one. The Polar Express is licensed, and I'm probably going to get sued for just using their name outside of something they've okayed. It's really good though. Like they do a good job with it. Railroad dependent, but like when they have their hands in it, they approve everything. So it's like well done. If you have kids, Gareth, you should try to do one of those.
Well,
Gareth has children, has a child. But like so
Please do not assassinate us.
That's what like the space is. It's like trying to get through the first 8 months of the year and then doing Polar Express, and then heritage passenger cars make money, and it's my job to keep heritage passenger cars running or keep them safe. And that's the brunt of my story is that Canadian National car is going across northern Ohio, and I've been chasing it all night. So I made a snowman with a family, and we put the railroad vest on and made it look like he was working there.
That's
so
sweet.
So that's my job, is making sure these things stay safe when they're moving, making sure they are safe and working when they're not. It's my entire career.
Cool.
So that's like why I am here today as an expert. The other reason I'm here is, next slide, please. This asshole.
Hey,
We know that channel logo.
Yeah.
let's drag someone else down. Get someone else into the pool of assassin people.
It's assassinate Besquicklehausen. Yeah.
You're going down Besquicklehausen.
He was actually, the thing is he's the first person I was messaging about all this, because just by chance he had been online and we were talking, and he's like, so seriously? And there had been a stream where I almost dropped. This was happening way before it was happening. And Jay was the one that was messaging me going, shut up. So I actually, on the endeavor to make these cars work, met up with him on the way out to Mexico. We rode the boat.
Agent of the Mexican government? ? Just asking questions.
Just asking questions. Is that someone wearing a Greater Manchester Passenger Transport Authority vest in the background there?
They get around,
It's a Muni,
Isn't
but
that Muni?
yeah, but it's a boat tram from Blackpool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There are questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that used to run in Philly, but they gave it to San Francisco. Those bastards.
Cowards.
It's being driven by a Mancunian.
Jay drugged me like 14 blocks to throw me on it while I had all my luggage on my way to Mexico. And it was fun. So I just had to do that shout out because if it wasn't for Jay, I wouldn't be here on the podcast.
So there you go, everyone. AMLO.
Exactly.
Just FYI.
Yeah, find this guy.
That's Tom Hanks and Jay now added to the ranks of.
Yes.
These bullets are really adding up.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna make him spend at least $1 to assassinate all of us.
So next slide.
Here's where the ordeal begins.
Oh.
Okay. So
okay.
So we could have deleted the Mexico part of this and just talked about the shitty trains that America tends to buy and then have no idea what the fuck to do with. And this is definitely one of them. Probably
So
the
suspiciously
one.
Talgo-y.
This is
Yes.
very Talgo-y because it is a Talgo.
I'll do it.
A what?
The Spanish train, they have fun tilting, and they have like one axle that's a weird triangle mounted thing, and it's kind of cool. But they export their trains around. They
Why?
This is like a Renfe thing that you've just like bought. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a long history of Talgos in America.
Since the 50s.
They tilt. They have the cool passive tilting thing. It's cool.
They tilt so you can get higher speeds and then oopsie daisy with it. But so these are the Amtrak Series 6 Talgos. These were the ones that Amtrak, they were waived because they don't pass crash standards in the United States. So they were, FRA would let them run under exemptions. And then Amtrak did an oopsie doopsie in Oregon and ran one clean off a bridge. And
Wait, what?
It happens to the best of us, you know. Listen, sometimes you buy like a European sports car. It's got like weird suspension. You think it's cool. You give it a special like thing because you think it's cool, and then you drive it into a tree. You know, same thing but on rails.
Long story short, they had opened up a new bypass to get Amtrak off of some freight tracks, the Port Defiance bypass, and because they cheaped out on it, there was a section where to get on a bridge to go over a freeway, it went from 80 miles an hour down to 30 miles an hour for one curve, and then it went back up to 80 miles an hour. And the engineer on the very first revenue trip on that new line forgot to reduce speed.
Wait, did this happen like 5 years ago?
It was essentially getting Smolensk air
I
into
remember
going
this.
onto that trip, not knowing it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's a whole nother episode. And
Yes.
and it's sad because we knew a lot of people on it, just like a lot of those types of accidents when it's in the industry. But so because of that, Amtrak gets a little skittish, but then they order new equipment's coming and the waivers like not worth trying to keep up with. And these things were clapped out with the tilting system and everything being operated like air doors and electric opening doors. You know, nothing's mechanical. It stopped making sense because you have to take these apart. Fixed train sets don't make sense. Fixed train sets do not make sense in the United States.
I'm glad you caveated that because they make a lot of sense if you run more than one train a day.
Listen to me. In the United States, but especially Talgo, who
I feel like I'm watching a fist fight break out in the UN.
Until recently, Talgo was holding cars hostage from LA Metro. So they weren't doing too hot either. So there wasn't a lot of reason to try and rebuild these. So Amtrak parked them and then went, you know what? No, and put them up for auction. And my company just happened to be the people that bid on both sets because Amtrak owns two, Oregon owns two, et cetera, et cetera. Or the transit agency up there. I'm too honestly drunk to remember all the details. But so we bought two sets to scrap and get parts out of for like heritage cars because they're really nice interiors. The people, that's the only thing they ever talk about is how beautiful the interiors of these train cars are.
The cafe car is really nice.
Yeah, they were built by Bistro Car. You gotta call it that. You'll get
Car,
shot
yeah,
if you
right,
don't.
yeah. Oh, that's a good
the,
point.
the real joke is I'm not going to get shot by anybody from a foreign government. I'm going to get shot by a foamer after this. A rail fan is going to blow me away with a shotgun for saying the Talgos were shit.
Bistro car. Yeah.
For not calling it a Bistro Car. But so these cars were clapped out, but very nice. So we took the nice parts that were still there and saved them. But you still got to get rid of a whole train set. And the other reason we were at war is the company is one of the few that can work out like doing stuff with Amtrak as a charter train. There's a scrapyard 5 miles away. And I feel very comfortable talking about this because there was like 3,000 foamers around us filming it. So it's not like it was kept secret. So we took it to the scrapyard and they brought it in, and it's a scrapyard. It's not hard to figure out. They bring the train in. The image on the side I made for my boss explain how they were going to take the cars apart. Talgos pull in. They take the big shear. They cut them all down, flip them on their sides.
Oh.
Talgos go here. They go bzzz, and then Talgo no more. And then
Talgo no go.
And then you get money on one side, and then all the plastics and stuff goes and gets burnt in the incinerator like 3 blocks away. So these train sets were still train sets when the administrators of this project started getting serious, and they called every transit agency in the United States. Amtrak went, yeah, we don't got anything, but we just sold some to this company. We were there. We donated the Bistro Car to
Washington Transportation Museum, Oregon Transportation Museum.
Yeah, it's like the Northeast Railway Museum.
If you go next slide, you can see this process play out.
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
But
how does a country of 330 million people not have 10 passenger cars between them? Well,
the economy's in shambles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we donated to a museum, and I'm no. It's in Washington, not DC, Washington State.
Washington State, yeah.
Northeast Railway Museum.
Also, like while all the foamers were watching, you went through and broke all the windows.
Yes, I did. It's actually on camera. I just can't find the video. The conductor actually came back right before we parked him and was like, "What have you been doing?" And I'm like, "Here, take the hammer, throw it through that door." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Do it. It's going to the scrapper. Have fun." We smashed every window, I am going to get so shot by one of the West Coast foamers. We smashed all of these ornate glass shelves in these cars. It was so great. Best day of my life. But anyways, so
yeah, the foamers are getting you before any other potential authorities might.
Yes.
So go back a slide.
Anyway.
Go back a slide. Well, that's the thing. It's getting scrapped anyway. Why should I care? Well, apparently I should have cared. So we took one of these cars, and it's the one that the shear's on because we had to pull a big chunk out. Not important. But it's sitting there. We're getting it ready to put on a truck. The owner of the company is there, and he gets a phone call, and it's a Amtrak government affairs number. He recognizes, and he goes, "Oh boy, I'll be back." And he walks like 50 feet away from me. And as they're picking up the last car that's getting shredded and put it on the conveyor belt to go into the big box that says "Burzed," he looks at me with like plates as eyes, like anime eyes, terrified, and goes, "No, we don't have those anymore."
Just went into the shredder like a minute
Literally had just gone into the shredder.
Absolutely sensational.
And it was the ambassador of the United States calling to the commerce ambassador calling to be like, "Hey, do you still have those train sets? Mexico wants to buy them from you." As a small businessman, I think he died on the spot and came back to life.
Understandable.
So we're like, "No, we don't, but we know people and the industry's small. We can make it work." And so we make it work. Next slide, please. Because again, there's not.
How does a country of 30 million people not have 10 passenger cars between them?
Yeah.
So
The economy's in shambles, guys.
every commuter agency has not a single car to spare. If they do, it's something that's not available. Amtrak, not even going there. That's a whole nother episode. Actually, probably being done by the armchair urbanist right now. And then you go the heritage railroads, and remember when I said Polar makes millions?
Yeah.
Gotta 1 year of Polar can make enough to justify not selling the car. So there isn't anyone, but we're stupid. And we know people that have cars. So they pretty much lay out that they want newer cars to match something similar to what they might get from someone else. And we're like, well, the newest thing we got 70s. They go, what? We're like, yeah, but Amtrak still uses these today, like literally across from where ours are parked. And they go, what? And so you have to, there's this whole tour they go on with like a bunch of the project administrators to learn that in the United States, we are still using stuff that's 50 plus years old on the national network, and on like commuter trains, it's even older than that sometimes. And there was still
doing better than
hesitance.
Canada.
Yeah. Eat shit via rail.
Yeah. So there's a point where we're in St. Louis with the administrators that are taking this back to the people in Mexico City. And we literally are putting them on an Amtrak train just so they can ride one. And 3 Amfleets are on the front of it, brand new. And they just go, no way. No way. It's like, yeah, they just rebuilt those too. That's the reality. So next slide, please.
Yes.
What had happened was,
dear.
You can't call Siemens and be like, hey, I want a passenger train in a year, when they just got all of the orders for all of the trains in the North America. It was a 5-year wait. And
so that's familiar to me. You gotta like make sure you really want the trains.
Yeah, but like
explain how you enjoyed planes in your childhood and trains in your childhood, stuff like that. You go through a whole
How do you
process.
do the fun trip where you get to wave at the people and look like you're the hero, when in 5 years you're not even allowed to be in government anymore? That don't work.
That's a real problem,
But,
and we're not really interested in the business of government that hands over stuff to its successor governments,
Yeah, but these
bullshit.
assholes.
No, we are fucking not.
Nope.
These couple of assholes bought these cars and know a guy that has the newest version of this type of car. That was an absolute disaster. Why don't we talk to them and they're brokers and they can brokerage anything else we need. And oh God, what am I doing? What have we done?
Let's hinge this national prestige project on this one American company.
We're gonna flip
literally
some trains.
Sounds like a recipe for success, baby.
On literally these 2 assholes. Like,
on 2 guys, sorry, excuse me.
Just 2 dudes.
On 2 dudes, yeah. And so that's what they had to do, because the next option is don't deliver a train.
I was about to say you have no other options.
If you want North American equipment, it was literally this or wait. And waiting is not an option. So, next slide, please. So, on the right is me. A friend made an emoji of me that's used a lot, and they made it kind of racist, but fits here.
Yeah, with great cultural sensitivity.
Yes.
Oh, can't wait to get can't wait to get strung up for this one. That's terrific.
You were like,
I need to go to Mexico.
Yes, that's the thing. Is so there is February 15th is when the first call comes. It is like 3 weeks ago when this train runs. And between that, it is all just talking. There is never anything figured out until July. So
I love government.
Yeah.
Government.
Very efficient.
There is a broker that has to be in Mexico that gets involved, because me as a guy cannot sell something to a government, right? If I was selling the Air Force the seat for the F-35, I cannot sell the Air Force the seat. I can't sell governments things. Big companies that have bonds, that have legal, they have to sell things. So we have to sell these to a broker who then has to sell it to Mexico. Fine. That means we don't have to worry about once it's there, the broker can handle it. So we just start rearing things up, and then the deadline's October 15th. What? Oh yeah, and AMLO wants to do a train trip before that. What?
Yeah.
So the way you send stuff to Coatzacoalcos from the United States is, instead of running it through the country where the government has nationalized a section of Ferrosur and really pissed off Ferrosur by doing so, to where there's a chance it might not make it because northern Mexico is the part that everyone's racist about, like me in the picture. I'm sorry, it made sense at the time. but you send it by the boat, and the boat's cool as hell.
This is the one that leaves from Mobile, right?
Yeah, Mobile to Coatzacoalcos. Am I close on that?
That is a cool boat. It's the fact that it connects up to the tracks and the trains run off like that. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's double decker too.
Ooh.
Yeah, they put cars underneath of it. It's really
Rubbish,
cool.
Boo.
I don't like that.
You got to export them somehow.
I guess so.
Plus, it's all of our junk cars. They don't send them good stuff. There's nothing new down there.
Nothing new up top
so
either.
you send it to the boat, and this is what like this podcast could have been about this episode. Sorry, instead of just this deal. Is next slide, please.
Oh, here we go.
To get it to the boat,
I have a child.
No, we're not there yet. We're not at that one.
CCTV footage too.
This is how you get killed by the class ones in the United States.
Okay, so they're queuing up like that scene in Airplane where it's like Norfolk Southern at the front,
exactly,
the Mexican government behind them, Ferrosur behind them.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes. So to get things across the United States, to get train cars across the United States, you ship them on the class ones. They're the only ones that really have the network to go from, say, Maryland or from St. Louis to Mobile. The problem is in the United States, the class one railroads haven't exactly kept up with the times when it comes to passenger car movements. And when you're just shipping these as a single car, crews treat them like a box or like a grain hopper. You can't hurt the grain. You can't hurt a tanker full of like edible oils. So they kick the ever-loving shit out of them.
These things that you've been like painstakingly restoring.
Right.
Correct. And are worth like 7 times as much as what's in that oil tanker, unless it's an oil tanker. But so like, if you want insurance on it, you send a guy, and the guy has to know how not to like piss off the yard crews, not to, go storm in and be like, that's my car, you can't do that. No, you just go in and go, hey, I'm not leaving until you put that on that train and it's not up against one of the train cars that's going to hurt it. Because like tank cars have a coupler that doesn't jive well with the part you walk through, the diaphragm and the buffer on that for passenger cars, and you can rip that clean off. Your British terms don't count here. But yeah, you can't have that because they'll rip that right off the top of the above the coupler. Sometimes the car will, train gets stopped in a dumb place because PSR did a dumb thing. And now the car is sitting in the middle of like the worst neighborhood in Kentucky and gets shot at by a couple of broskies or graffiti. And when you have a car that's like already been done up for the delivery, you can't really risk it getting graffitied. So you send an asshole in a truck just to go yard to yard. Yeah, there's the asshole. There's the truck.
Just chase the thing.
To chase the thing in case it gets stuck somewhere, but to mainly go yard to yard and be like, hi, so that's my car on the back of that train. And for the love of God, if you don't if you don't put it on the next train out of this yard, the Mexican Marines are going to come in through that door and shoot you between the eyes for screwing up AMLO's first trip. I said that 3 times in this and was not joking. Because that car, if you notice the date, it's 8/25 and 8/26. One, to go from Ashland to Waycross in one day is impossible. There's 3 yards in between the two. I did it. I did it because I was nice to the train crews. And also, I'll tell you that story in a second.
You genuinely, you should have asked the Mexicans for some Marines. You know, just get a couple of them on board.
An escort, yes.
Yeah, that's called an invasion. We're not allowed to do that.
I think you should have facilitated a Mexican invasion of the United States.
How Ron DeSantis likes it. Yes.
Listen, they did it in Call of Duty, right? I don't see why you can't have Mexican special forces operate in the U.S. It seemed like it was because of like Alcatala or whatever. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I maybe, but insurance doesn't allow me to put anyone on the train car. So at the end of the day, yeah, they can stand there with it, but they can't be inside of it. Sucks. So like, it looks a lot worse to have a couple of Humvees with Mexicans in the back. Sorry, pickup trucks with Mexicans in the back chasing alongside of it. That would go poorly. But there's 2 things I got to talk about on this. So one, the thing in the middle, I have almost put on cars, but you have to put a big sign that says "Do not hump" on them. Because they might just put it over the hump because that's what they do.
Jesus, imagine humping one of these fucking things.
You see a dumb car and you're like, yep, I'm going to hump that.
So again, we could do a whole episode on this. In Cincinnati, they humped 2 Abrams tanks into a dome car.
Oh my God.
Did that in 2015. Also in Cincinnati, they humped the nuclear train once.
They have no respect.
Plutonium spilling everywhere.
No respect. So I paid for the whole hump. I'm going to use it.
The thing is like the guy that pulls the pins is told to pull the pins. Sometimes you just get in the groove and then it's like, whoop, oh no,
oh shit.
I made an error.
So it happens. I can't blame them because again, they don't know. It's on the freight railroad. Why is it not treated like a freight car? You know, and I can't blame them because if I was just some guy working on the freight railroad, you know what I'd be doing? Yep, bye.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like a while back they were thinking about using old Virginia Railway Express cars to do troop transfers between bases in Virginia, and I'm sure they'd put them over the hump.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just like with a bunch of GIs in there.
They did it. So that happened with the B-52 trainer once. They didn't put it over the hump, but they were kicking cars in a yard, which is legal in some yards, and they kicked a fucking tank car into it and made one of the guys riding inside the guard car next to it eat his own door.
Jesus. Oh wow.
It happened. That's why you're not allowed to ride these things anymore. The other reason you follow these is sometimes they might pull if I put it on this train that goes in this direction, it might get there faster because trains tend to go faster between point to point. And if those changes happen, you have to get to the yard that's not expecting this. And most of the time, they're not expecting it anyway. You have to get that yard, go in and be like, hey, please, God, don't let that go north. Why are you letting that go north? Why did it leave the yard going north? Stop that train. That happened during this move.
Oh, dear.
The problem is when you're doing your job right, this shit moves
for the benefit of the listener, of course, Mexico famously south of the United States of America.
Yeah, actually, that is usually south. Yeah,
that might be important. I hope. You can't expect anything from anyone. But if you're doing your job right,
not these fucking listeners. Oh no, wait, I can't say that. I'm a guest.
Right. No, go in.
See,
in.
I told you. This is how I get shot. It's not going to be a government.
Listeners, I love you. Hello. You're all very nice to me when I appear on this podcast. Yeah. I love you all. Really, I'm just doing a bit. I have a child.
Yeah.
So the other thing that happens is the cars move on time, right? You don't get much sleep because you have to keep up with them, and the train doesn't have intersections and shit and goes in a straight line usually to its next destination, not going on the highway and having lights and shit. So you get really tired if things are going well. And I did that on this trip, getting the dome down there. Get to Waycross, Georgia, which has there's like 7 ways the train can leave there. So there's tracks everywhere, and I'm stopped, and there's a train blocking the road, just sitting there. It happens. Waycross has overpasses, but that's how I got to CSX to go talk to someone. And I was literally listening to this podcast, the East Palestine episode, and fell asleep. And
damn, I thought we were more entertaining than that.
It's like my third listen. I'm sorry. I drive a lot. That wasn't the problem. What happened was I woke up and the episode was still playing because it's a 3-hour-long episode.
Yeah, we do that.
And I nodded right.
I
nodded right off, and the train had left.
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no. So, but then another train came. But by the time because Waycross has a certain drug problem. By the time the next train had come and started blowing its horn, that woke me up, kinda. Someone called the cops and been like, this truck's sitting in the middle of the road in park, and the guy slumped over. So the CSX cop comes out and knocks on my window. Well, when you do this, again, sketchy neighborhoods, graffiti, rocks, other shotguns. So you're supposed to, sometimes you take your own personal safety into your own hands, and you keep a gun in the truck with you, handy, when you're in an unknown area. And I was dozy, and a cop knocked on my window, and I reached for it. I'm responsible, damn it, with my firearms. So I keep it out of a place somebody else could find it, but I was going for it. And he just was like, dude, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I fell asleep. I'd been up like 20 hours. And he's like, oh, shit. Yeah, you work for the railroad, right? For obvious reasons on the truck. And I'm like, yeah, I work on the railroad. And he's like, okay, well, let me just check your stuff. Just make sure we're kosher. And of course, like, as I'm reaching for the rest of the paperwork for the truck, it's like, hide that, push that away. Don't look.
Don't
cool.
worry about this.
Here you go.
Don't
Here's
worry
my
about
license.
this.
Thank you, officer. Bye. Yeah, if he's listening to that today, dude, I'm sorry, but you almost ate it because I was an idiot. But that's just what you do. Because like at one point, the reason I even had it to where that could have happened, I was in Richmond, Virginia, parked behind a movie theater, looking at my car because there had been a bunch of people around it, and a bunch of people that are homeless, and like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who might have something they stole or whatever. I know this sounds horrible, but it has happened.
Sure.
So like,
Yeah.
you do this stuff to make sure like your hours and hours and hours of work doesn't like get, Thanos snapped out by some dude being a dick. Sometimes you gotta do it. I've known people that have done a lot worse chasing these cars. So, it's not something that anyone can do. I just wanted to make that point because I'm sure everyone listening that's a rail fan is like, ooh, that sounds like a cool job. It's not. Stop it. You don't know. Yeah. So anyway, as the train went further south, at one point I pulled over ahead of it because we were about to go south of the border. Next slide, please.
Yes.
Look at that
I'll
beautiful
wait.
livery on it.
No, look.
Yep. Right here. If you've been on I-95 between North Carolina and South Carolina.
It's south of the border. Look, it's south of the border.
I hated it there.
You've been there. You were miserable there. Do you remember that?
I do. It was horrible.
That's okay. The train car was also miserable being there.
Yeah. So, Scooter, I don't think you talked about like this particular car. I don't know if you can talk about it, but
yeah,
like,
I can talk about that.
Yeah.
It's America's dome car because for some reason everybody in this damn country has ridden on it at some point. every foamer in this damn country has ridden on it at this point, and they all act like they owned it at one point. And the reality is, in the last 20 years, 3 people have owned that car. One of which leased it out everywhere. It was called the Stampede Pass. It's now just a numberless, nameless, soulless car. But it was on 611. It was on 765. It's been on like every train excursion in the United States. Before that, it was owned by a private owner in Cincinnati. We're not going to talk about because he got busted for really, 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 really fucked things. But it's a dome car. It's double decker in the center. It's got pretty much a panoramic view up top, but it's also a giant greenhouse.
Oh,
is that
not so
upper
nice.
level?
Yeah, it gets hot in southern Mexico, I understand.
Yeah, we'll get there. That upper level has an air conditioner pretty much dedicated to it, and it still doesn't help too much when it's like 100 degrees out. These cars are, when they were built, were extremely rare. In today's times, currently, the few that are on the market don't have any windows.
And they bought
Yeah, it's
this
because someone ran up and down them with a hammer, smashing them all.
I wonder who would do that.
And they bought this not because they were particularly interested in it, but because it was what you had on hand.
Yes. So what they bought to do the corridors, I guess I should mention this earlier, but we got a lot to cover. What they bought to do the corridors was the 2 Amfleet coaches we had, and then 6 SPV 2000s, which I left out of here because there's not really great pictures of them in an ownership they're in. But the SPV 2000s was like an Amfleet 1.5, used the same shell, and then had motors under it, had the motors removed because they sucked and were just turned into coaches. That was going to be the 2 trains that ran point to point. Then they bought 2 locomotives, F-59s, former Go Transit locomotives. This car was bought to be for officials, for tours, for maybe a VIP car if they could find another. Funny story, you can't get one in 3 months. That's a piece of shit. So they bought this, and it essentially has become the officers and AMLO's private car, which is fine. You need that when you're doing a presidential train once.
Yes.
To give you an idea, the curved glass there in the very corner, right-hand corner, that has like a 6-month lead and costs like 10 grand just by itself.
Ooh.
So when it's like, I want a dome car and it's not like ready to go, you just kind of have to wait and spend a lot of money. This one cost a lot of money. But
nothing's too good for,
well, we will get there. So while this is in motion, the broker of the railroad has been working to help with the freight side of things, and we're trying to get cars there for this first ride across the corridor. We are doing this so that we can get equipment that's more standard for a heritage railroad. The Amfleets don't really jive right now. They're better for intercity trains. This dome car we didn't want to let go of. The locomotives, they're big, ugly, commuter rail engines. Like it just didn't make sense to keep any of this. So we're like, fine, we'll sell it to you.
Because they're like, we want this done by like now.
Yeah, and we don't really have a reason to like dig into it because like they want to do Train Maya, but like sensible.
Yeah, it's like their money,
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
When we got into this, it was Train Maya, but sensible. Like we'll use North American stuff. It's going to run with freight railroads. It made sense when you're looking at with the minimal information you have for the time before everything started gearing up for this trip that's coming up. And while the dome's in motion on its way to Mobile, next slide, please.
Oh, I hate the livery.
I don't like it very much. Yeah.
I'm just gonna
like
this. I like this thin blue line ass. I like the woman on the right just for no reason.
All the like Tren Maya stuff is like super like PR smoothed down. It's got like a fancy logo and stuff. I guess this one does too, but it's just like a knotted rope. But like this is like so classic, like you know, vote for AMLO project things. We slap a woman on it. I like the top and the dark red. You can see Interoceánico is like very poorly kerned.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I noticed that too. I see
those
the O's falling over. Yes.
Yeah, they got some chemming happening right there.
This is the freight locomotives that were delivered. These are Progress Rail reject SD70Ms that are fine. The broker got them cheap, got them sold cheap, and AMLO's out there because they painted this in like 2 days.
Ran
yeah,
and parked. I know what I got.
I was going to say, whatever the company that does the transfers, they're rolling it at this point. They're pleased with themselves.
Very. And so they're like, come see the freight engines for your new train. And AMLO goes down and meets up with all the people. And like at the end of the day, he talks to the administrators we talked to and goes, I'll see you on the 16th of September. Mind you, those pictures were from August 25th. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've seen what all of the tracks look like.
Yeah, and we've established what it takes to get equipment there and like get it ready. You know, you got millions of dollars, lots of time, and the railroads beat the shit out of it.
And he's talking here also to the Navy, as seen here.
To the Navy, to the broker, to the administrators, to everyone. And we're going on a ride on the 16th, and everybody goes, okay.
Cool. The panic sets in.
Well, we already saw it. We already saw it attached to a tank car. Didn't the barge do something to it too? Or are we allowed to talk about that?
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
Oh God.
So they have their first locomotive, and now they have to paint 3 more before the event. They also have to get our junk, and we're going as fast as we can. So next slide, please. That's me. That's me. That's me. We find out we have to get everything there, get it on the dome goes on the boat with just for the last sailing because the boat takes 5 days. And we get the notification that they have no idea how any of this works because the Amfleets have shown up and they're looking at them going, what?
How is train?
How is train? What is train?
Is this like a boat?
Yeah.
Was this a philosophical question?
Well, it's all Navy people, so that is kind of the thought, right?
Be like, where the fuck do you put the rudder?
Yeah, exactly.
What's an American train? What's a Mexican boat? Yes.
So
definitely going on to Patreon and subscribing to the WTYP Patreon and going back to the train episode.
So
desperate for information.
So we have to go to Mexico
Where'd
now.
you put the tube full of horse viscera?
This is just like a truck but bigger, right?
Right. And of course, all the administrators are showing up, staring at this and going, well, this is a piece of crap. I thought we were getting new trains because no one has told anyone anything.
Ooh. Oh, hell yeah.
Buy cheap, buy fast, buy second hand, and don't tell anyone.
The people that inspected it have just been like, yeah, it's good enough, get it down here. And now everyone above them is like, what the fuck is this piece of shit?
So wait, so like some fucking like Mexican Navy captain like looks around the thing, is like, it kicks the tires, which are, steel, goes ow, and goes, okay, yeah, fine, good, send it. Gets to Mexico, and then his boss, some admiral, is like, you told me that we were gonna get like shiny new trains.
I can neither confirm nor deny that is what happened.
Okay, yeah.
Can't you just go to a train dealership and pick some up?
I can.
Yeah, like you're sort of, your admiral wants something that still has like the stickers on it. He wants to peel the plastic film off the like infotainment center. Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny anything about that statement.
Okay, I've just been. This is all me, by the way. I've been putting together stuff from reading the press releases about various parts of the corridor.
Well, the foamers have done a good job of taking pictures of what they've been doing too. If you're interested, you can find it. you can see what happened. I can neither
Some of that
confirm nor
missed,
deny
yeah.
it, but there are a
Yeah.
lot of pictures of people being like, look at our new train. Why are all the seats taken out of it already?
It's like I put on my dress whites to go and see my new secondhand train, you know.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Wrong. Next slide, please. So we go to
dear.
Mexico.
Oh,
And this
boy.
is where it becomes, this is me. I went to Mexico. Only me.
Yeah.
That's right.
As a trip to help out my friends and compadres that have to learn how to do a train. And I will say that the people there, the people that are doing this, care. They are good people. I want to work with them some more. They really want to do a good job with this. It's literally like the thing that's going to make these towns able to work together again, because there's just no money in this area. The only thing there is oil and ports. So being able to like have a train and be able to go into like this was going to bring families together. One of the people I worked with was like, I've never left this city and I want to go to New York City. And I was like, I understand that. And he's like, but I've never left this city. I haven't even gone inward. I haven't gone to Mexico City. With this train, I'll be able to go see my country. And it's like,
That's pretty
okay.
fulfilling.
That is what trains can do. This is why,
This is true,
this is
yeah.
literally why I do my day job.
This is why we're going to uncancel HS2 and ram it through ourselves with your Patreon dollars.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be the private sponsor.
The problem that comes with this is it's not them running it. It's people in Mexico City. And so it has to
People
go.
in Mexico City have typically already been to Mexico City, so
Right.
it's kind
Yes.
of lost its luster for them.
Right. And there's no reason to come down here because why would you go there? It's not the resort part of Mexico. That's Train Maya. This is two ports. Everyone there either has a job or is poor.
Yeah, it's not glamorous. Plus, you can do some internal racism, which is fun.
Right. And that's why it was like, oh, well, we'll get to the passenger train. We'll get to oh shit, we still have to do the passenger train. Okay. So we get I get down there. And it's anywhere around the railroad is a police state. There are hundreds of military people with guns, as pictured, just standing around because to keep their reasoning, and it makes sense, is to keep the crime out of the rail yard. They send guard cars with these trains because they have to, but they're trying to bring up the area so people want to come to this port and work and want to put their businesses, and the support structure for your oil and plastics industry has to be there, as well as the trains.
Yeah, you see this in any oil place. I grew up near Aberdeen, which is like the UK's kind of oil capital, and most of Aberdeen became just like low-level industry of all of the support infrastructure to
Right.
All the various companies and stuff making shit to collect oil, to ship oil, to turn oil into other stuff. There's a huge amount of it's not just the port, it's not just the supply chain.
Yeah,
there's all
yeah.
the other stuff that builds up
Yeah,
around it.
you have to establish like state dominance and state capacity to do
Yes.
that. If you're not, the Zapatistas, this in itself is like they're not only doing this because they enjoy like standing around with guns, although also that,
Yeah.
Well, and this is where you get into the problems, because to get a hotel bigger than Holiday Inn to come into your town, you need it to be safe, but also you don't
Well,
have
notice how they like crack down whenever any of the like drug wars made it to like any of the tourist areas. Like somebody gets killed on the beach in like Monterey or whatever, and the next thing you know, the town is like a military base for 2 years.
right, and that's what's going on here. But the problem is to ramp up a military infrastructure in places like this while it's already other places. You have to bring people in from the local area, and when you're in a poor area, those people are the highest paid people in the area. So they're very loyal to the structure around them. So when it goes, it goes. If guy above me says do it, you're doing it. End of story.
Alice,
and
Monterey
there's-
is inland.
Oh, fucking hell. I what am I thinking of then? It was, it might have been Cancun.
Cancun.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a company town. The Navy's the company. Sure.
But yeah, exactly. The Navy and Pemex are the only two companies in this town. So I show up. I get down there. I meet with our contacts with the broker, and there's two British guys in the same van as me, and they're there to work on a different train that we had heard was going to train Maya.
Foreshadowing.
But they got their own thing. They have to go to the port. I have to go to the rail yard. So I go to the rail yard, and I run into some of the guys the mechanics they brought out to verify our stuff was good, and they just won't talk to me. They won't.
Oh, no.
I don't know a lick of Spanish, but they just kind of like look at me and are like, "Uh-oh," you know. And I'm like, "What?" And they won't tell me. So I walk around and start looking for our equipment, and I find it. And this Amfleet that we had done has all the seats missing, but I'm staring at it at the end, and it left, and it was level.
Oh, what a sense.
Scooter, I just want to say this. That you've showed me this photo before, and I've never looked at it this big before. And looking at it makes me dizzy.
Yeah.
They italicized your Amfleet, dude.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I finally get a translator, and later on, and dude, you need to quit your job if you're listening to this. You really need to quit your job. I find out he was hired the day of to be my translator. He knows nothing about trains, but he knows that no one else knows anything about trains, and he's telling me that. And I start doing this, so what have they done? And he goes, I don't know, but let's go talk to the guy in charge. And the guy in charge is super cool. I really wish he'd, reach out if he has any issues. I definitely see why he hasn't. Because we walk around this car, and because they decided not to buy a generator car, and because the timeline won't slow down because we're taking a train ride this week, end of story, and it has to look good. It's a press event. They have to get power on this thing.
I
Normally,
believe you specifically told them to buy a generator car, right?
to buy we literally had it in a proposal, and it was turned down because the locomotive has a generator in it. Yeah, but what happens when you don't have the locomotive? So we're going to find out what happens. Next slide, please. So this is a normal Amfleet somewhere in the United States. Doesn't really matter. All it matters is that to explain how these work, this is a Pioneer True truck. So the bearing's inside. The discs are on the inside because it's a Bud disc brake car. On the outside, there's TBUs, which is the braking. Yeah. Right. So that all adds a lot of braking force for going above 120 mile an hour, or up to 120 mile an hour. The cars are built to tilt and level in track that's uneven or rough. So that's right where your pointer is. That's the airbag pointed out. That actually does the most of the suspension work for the car. But as a backup, there are mechanical springs inside that and then on the car body.
Yeah, primary, secondary suspension.
Correct. Yeah. The airbags will eventually inflate off the air brake system. If not, they're run off the main reservoir coming straight from the locomotive, which also runs the bathrooms on these cars. Fun little fact.
Giant
so
airbag
normally,
full of piss. Gotcha.
Yes.
Normally that little tab
Like an
there,
accordion.
right there, that when the car is properly level, no, that's the equalizer, the tab on the airbag.
Wait,
Tab.
this tab.
That tab. Yet normally when that car is deflated, that top part that's attached to the bolster of the truck frame will be sitting right where it is. That's what it's supposed to look like. When a car tilts, it'll be to one side. If it's in unlevel track, it'll be a little off, but it's supposed to be in the middle or just under the middle if the airbag's not inflated. The car we were looking at, on the other hand, looks like next slide. This is not the scary one.
Okay.
Oh, what?
This is the one that shows something's not right. But they've also painted everything. And in an air system, vents exist, rubber exists.
Yes.
You're not supposed to paint the wheels so you can identify cracks if one starts to form.
Oh, God.
They've literally just been through with like a can of spray paint.
No, it's worse. They washed it with like a paint gun, like a airless paint gun you'd use for your house.
Jesus.
Oh my God. So, Scooter, can I just check that my knowledge of the mechanicals of these isn't great. It's not a yaw damper that's on the outside. You called it an equalizer that they've bent the bar off, right? It's not a yaw damper, is it? It's just it's.
Yeah, it's an here it's called the equalizer. There's other names. I might even be getting that wrong because the Amfleets are even weirder. But essentially, yeah, it keeps the truck in line with the car.
Okay.
It's got rubber pads on it. It keeps it from like spinning out, essentially.
Oh yeah, so it does sound like a yaw damper.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah. Why we couldn't make all trains the same, I don't know.
It's not supposed to
look like that, folks.
So I can neither confirm nor deny when that happened. But it ain't good, but that is okay. The Amfleet's trucks can take some screwiness, right? What's not okay is the fact that the airbag is not inflated in this picture.
No.
Oh.
Next slide, please.
So it's just
Beautiful paint.
No, I do not like. I don't like where that's gone.
So there's not a good picture of it, but what has happened is there has been a generator hung under a car that's supposed to tilt to get them power.
Okay, cool. All right, sick.
So that El Presidente's train can run. And I got violently ill the night after I found this because I could not stop thinking about this. This car was not freshly rebuilt, and it never would have had a chance to be. Amtrak did not freshly rebuild it. This is riding on a bunch of parts that have just kind of been yellowing it since 2016. And no one knew. No one called.
I appreciate that you can't answer this, but was the Mexican Navy trying to assassinate AMLO on purpose here? Or?
I can deny only that statement.
Okay, good.
I don't think so. I really, again, I said it earlier, just no one knows. No one understands how this works, and no one cares. That no one that can care because it has to go. It has to go.
Right.
Big Soviet Union vibes, big Nadelian catastrophe. If it don't go, Nadelian's going to beat you out back with his own fist. And that's what everyone's afraid of, especially when you have M16s around, M16s and M4s all around you from people that are local that are like, it has to go. It gets real nerve-wracking.
Sometimes I feel like these deadlines are a little overblown. You know, I think people could probably do things a bit late and still save most of their face. You know,
correct.
Yeah.
And
that's
that's
why
the
it's
thing.
nice to live in America.
You could have also saved, the broker or anyone could have saved face by going, hey, hi. So if I do this, will it work? And we go, no. They're like, okay, well, how bad could it be? And it's like, bad. Clearance
Really
issues. Bad. Clearance issues. I mean, if you go 60 and you hit one of these curves, you could roll the car.
I was going to say derailment. This thing will flange climb super easy.
Yeah.
The wheel rail interface will have been screwed by this. You will just. This is even at low speed. This thing will. You'll all the hunting will not be properly damped in vehicle rotation. This is horrible. This is so horrible.
At any speed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ralph.
Well, luckily it was safe at one speed.
Zero?
Standstill.
Close. But so next slide, please.
Don't like close to zero. I'll tell you that right now.
So on the left is what we're worried about. This is
Rod
188.
Blagojevich.
Yep. This is a shot from 188 when it went off the side. Obviously, is a high speed derailment where it rolled the rail because it was going too fast in a curve. But this could have happened. This could have happened where the car climbed and went over with the goddamn president of the country. I almost said over the United States. Fuck me.
Well, Mexico is a United States, you know?
Yeah, the
It
goddamn
is.
president of the
Amigo.
Mexican United States on the fucking train.
Yeah.
And I am in the country. And that's
Yeah.
my car.
That's sort of awkward to be like, yeah, I just sold the sort of, I sold JFK the murder limo. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're there. I am there
And I sold
dealing
him the
with
goods.
the reality of like, this is bad, man. Like, and everything else becomes minor. But you also find out that the people running the train have never ran a train. I was explaining how the air brakes worked on like a fundamental level, not like this car's air brakes work this way. On like, you do this in the locomotive and it stops because no one has touched a train before.
Wow.
Because the support staff working this are the support staff for the Navy, not for there's a civilian railroad and then there's the Navy. And because this is the passenger train, this is still the Navy. The civilian side's still working on it, but you know, they're handpicking who does what.
Oh dear.
And most of those people have worked on a boat because they're similar to trains. And
They're made of metal. They
We've
They're
been
long.
saying
they have the
They
same
move.
prime mover. Like they have similar ideas, but the big problem is we think the left-hand picture is the real problem. But the big problem is that there is something else that everybody has been being told about and trained on.
Yeah, there is a yellow nose.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
an old friend.
Yeah.
There's an old friend in the art there.
Brother, what have they done to you?
Hello again.
Is where the Amfleet is sitting, and there is something seen in the rail yard that we're just not paying attention to because I have been told that's going somewhere else. That's for something else, whatever, until this point. But
Don't worry about it.
exactly, don't worry about it. It's not your project. Your project's staying in there, and it's shit. We hate it, and you need to help us fix it. And it's like, I'll train you, but I sold, you know, I sent it in the timeline provided because you want to do this event. Okay, cool, that's fine.
I almost killed a cop for you.
Yeah, and then after all that, they modify a bunch of your shit very badly, allegedly, and
yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny that they did that.
someone did. Someone broke into someone got onto the barge, right, with a like a rib boat, and like welded a generator under the underside of your car, and then snuck off into the dead of night. And then when the Mexicans got it off the barge, it was like that.
Yeah, actually, I like that. That's a good story. You should do an episode about that. Anyway, next slide, please. So this is the next day. This is the dome arrives off the boat, and the dome has not been turned on yet. And I had been saying up until this point, the generator on the dome, it has a little generator that private cars use that it could backfeed and help power these cars. You just might not be able to put anybody in one. And we don't know how many people are coming. AMLO's invited a lot of people.
Oh my God.
Mostly dignitaries too. So like, we're going to like screw up international politics if we don't run this.
Cool.
Hey, fucking excuse me? Have you done a test run yet with cars? No. So these are all bug cars, mind you. Bud built the Amfleets, Bud built the dome. And on the
Invincible.
left is the meme
Bud don't
I
break.
made that night.
Yeah.
But don't break.
Did you make a meme to process this trauma?
I made a meme to send to Besquigglehausen, yes. And
It's like, if
Serious, he's gonna be
assassinated, this
assassinated.
why? Yeah.
yeah, and I'm in that group of guys with the hard hats right there. I'm down there just hoping and praying.
Screaming into the void, yeah.
Oh yeah, the hotel was on the beach. I literally debated walking out just into the ocean, into the Gulf, and just seeing how far I can make it before it goes black. Turns out like 40 feet. Anyway, so the dome arrives. We go to power it up and just power the dome up. And it's so far so good. And you turn on one of the 480 volt, which is like the power that these cars run on, 480 volts. It's the kind of voltage where if you lick it, you die, but you die if you like touch it, your arm gets blown off and then you die very slowly.
Right. Oh,
You're then at the mercy of like Mexican railroad first aid.
Well, we'll get there. There's none of that there. I hope you know.
Yeah.
But we go to turn
the thrust
on
of that phrase, yeah.
We go to turn on the HVAC system, and it's got a 30-second delay. And what it is I am standing in the electrical cabinet. Inside of it, it's like a little room that you know all the breakers, so that when you unwire it, you can get to everything. Right? It's a little room on the end of the car. I'm standing in it with like 6 of the project guys that are the guys that have to know how to run this, blocking me in. And when it shipped, it worked. All the lights come on, everything's okay. You turn the big 480 breaker on, you turn the HVAC system on. There's a 30-second delay timed in, so like if the car gets turned on and off and on and off, it doesn't blow up the compressor by like starting it hard a few times, right? There's that delay. And then, kaboom. There's a 480 arc inside the cabinet I am standing in.
Oh my God.
And the contactor that runs this ejects itself out of the panel that is bolted into. And then all of the wires where the boom happens catches on fire. With me standing...
Shake hands with danger.
Yeah, with me...
Shake hands with danger.
With me standing in a like 1 foot square room with my arm, I burnt the shit out of my arm. Obviously, you hit the main breaker and you kill it real quick, and then you go, get the fuck out of my way. To all the guys that have been blocking me in, who just stood there. And then I am in such a panic because all of guys with guns around me are depending on this car working in 3 days, that my brain goes, you know what? I don't know what actually happened. Turn it back on. Because panic, adrenaline, stupidity. And it was, they have these cannon plugs that are like the helicopter cannon, like what's in airplanes. There's a lot of these where you plug them together and you screw them down so they're tight. The car had been hit so hard somewhere in its transit, probably once it arrived at the port, that plug had been broken off at the wiring and you can't see it. It's one of those things, you don't inspect these things. They're like meant to take a hit, right? But it's also a 70-year-old car and a 40-year-old electrical panel. So it had shattered that plug and it arced to each other, and then all of that wiring caught on. It's fireproof wiring, but the plug is not. It's plastic, and then there's labels on all the wires. It created a mess. But anyway, the point of this is I'm about to screw over the president's train ride because no HVAC in the dome car. So things get real
in sort of September.
In September,
southern Mexico.
In
the greenhouse.
In the hottest September in recorded history.
At the
Until
same point,
next year.
One of the project administrators also shows up to the yard. One of the people that everyone listens to and is like, I'm mad, do this, and they do it because they're mad and they don't realize it was a euphemism. So I get hidden in that electrical cabinet for like 20 minutes because it turns out that he's really mad about the whole situation. So that happens. You have the life flashing before your eyes a few times moments, and then he leaves. And we go to link up the cars, and it can backfeed from the car. And it's like, okay, cool. You've got one Amfleet. Use the one with the generator. I don't care. Bye. I'm gonna go back to the hotel. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, the train's leaving tomorrow. What? The train's leaving tomorrow. It's going to Salina Cruz. The trip's from Salina Cruz to Coatzacoalcos.
Oh my God.
It's gonna
So
run
you don't
the
have
whole
any time
line
to work.
again, the track that we've seen.
Yeah, you don't have any time to work on it. Well, work on Salina Cruz. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll fly there. I'll go to the hotel. I'll fly there after picking up a bunch of parts. I'll fly there. I'll see you guys there. I'm advised to leave as soon as I get back to the hotel. I'm advised to leave by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because it's now beyond anything I can do, and
Sure.
it's not a good look for anyone involved. So I leave. And I had given them everything they needed to know. I spent the entire time working with the people that had worked with me on what each car needed, how you start it up, how you need to leave it. And
how you get through this without assassinating AMLO.
Right.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm like, whatever you do, just the car tilting to the side's one thing. I'm banking on the fact that 15-year-old airbag will do its job. And I'm more worried about them getting there and the thing not running and them getting, shit canned 300 miles away from where they live.
Yeah, or somebody getting, shot.
Or worse.
Somebody getting redacted. Yeah, I can't. I'm more worried about them than I am me, because at the end of the day, I'm me. I haven't done anything other than deliver a shitty product that I didn't deliver shitty.
Yeah,
so
plus you're an American, it's
which does help us.
Right, and at the end of the day, it's
I mean, it's not going to help you guys when you get shot, but like,
Right.
Yeah, there was never a situation where I personally was told something bad is going to happen to you if this happens. But there was just this air of, if this doesn't go, we're all dead. And that statement translated happened.
If some admiral like fucking does, will nobody rid me of this turbulent priest, that's not going to make you feel any better that he didn't actually say take this guy and shoot him. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
I was about to say that exact thing. Yeah.
But again, no one ever did that. They were just keeping me away from this situation, even though it was my name and my work on the line. And it's
generally I don't think anyone is like advising you to leave unless somebody in a position to get shit to happen is saying some things at a volume and with an intonation that might make some things happen.
Right. So I left. Next plane out of the country. I went to Canada actually, but not because of this. I had another job. But so they run the train. And next slide, please. That's it. And it ran. And that top photo is them running the line with no one knowing that it was running. And wide open. Yeah. Do you remember when I said that the track, it gets worse, Gareth? Look at it.
Yes, you did say that, and more sweat came off my body.
So that train is empty. No one's on it other than the managers, like the civilian managers. Power's off, and they go for it. They run it at speed that they can. And there are videos where I am on a plane going, oh my God, because there's no body in it, so there's no weight. But things are not.
This thing is going to be lively.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one car that's not great is bouncing. It's having a time.
Me.
But so they get to Salina Cruz, they fix the air conditioner, thank God. They put a swamp air conditioner up in the dome, which is it's like, a portable air conditioner to help, and it did. And then Sunday is when the event, they're a day late, they postponed it because of AMLO's schedule. Sunday they run the train. And there's 4 reasons why I'm here having this and not hiding in a cave somewhere in New Mexico.
They didn't kill AMLO being the first one.
Right.
Correct.
Woo!
Yeah.
They're in the Saddam Hussein hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, where all of us are gonna be, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna all kind of dig our own Saddam Hussein holes.
Oh man,
I have a
child. There, that's a child. I just don't want to.
You're gonna have to dig a
I'm going
second
with,
Saddam Hussein hole.
I'm going. Like, what? Can't you dig it for me? Like, I don't want to do the work.
It's like stackable Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just toss us in a shallow grave. Like, don't make us dig that far.
Oh, it might happen.
That's fine. I don't care.
So first thing is, it makes it across the railroad empty, no problems. A couple of bumps, I've been told, but like nothing that's like, oh, this is going to go really poorly. But there's no weight on the train because nobody's on it. But I am very lucky that the people I had talked to had told everyone, like, this is what we need to do. This is what the guy that knows the cars that we talked to said to do, and they did it. They did everything except speed. But they couldn't go fast because there were so many goddamn people out celebrating the train. Because this is like the biggest thing that's ever happened in most of these towns. And the president of the country is coming through, hanging out the door, waving at all of us. It's, the reason Kennedy did the things in the limo.
He was really enjoying those Dutch doors in the videos. He was like, he used that car the way it's supposed to be used.
Exactly. Not in the dome, in the Dutch door. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it because of so many people, they couldn't speed up even when it was good track. And so they ran it at like, I think a max of 25 in one spot, freedom units, because I don't remember their numbers. But
so the love of his people saved AMLO then.
Yes.
Correct. That again, Bud don't fucking break. And the picture on the right shows it. I didn't realize when we ran the trip that the Amfleets were built to have 12 inches of canter on them at extremes.
Bloody hell.
They don't like it. They really don't like it. And if it was doing that kind of lane, the generator would have hit the rail and broken off and derailed the train. But because it wasn't, because they were going slow, because the Amfleet's built to take the weight, it worked out by like the skin of our teeth.
I don't like this.
I don't like it either, but it can do it. Because
oh my god,
Bud never should have died. We should have nationalized Bud and just sacrificed a couple of shot welders to the gods every year.
This is like the American version of how like the most resilient spacecraft is still a Soyuz, because they built it to work and it just still keeps working.
Exactly.
Even like as you like
Won't
pull
let it
out
die, right.
you pull out more and more Jenga blocks underneath it and it still kind of keeps on going. This is the American version of that, is you have something that was produced in the salad days and it just kind of like against every possible fucking tolerance, it still kind of works.
Exactly. Yeah. And you got to remember too, is the bug cars were designed and built with like every possible safety measure in them, on top of the fact they shot welded these things together, which gives you like infinity cancer. But like, it's a big stainless brick. You can't hurt it. So, and you worry about it. The thing falling off would have done the damage, but at least like I have said this a lot in my career, and a lot, especially in this. I told a lot of people down there. I told higher up people. I told my boss, I've told my friends, I am 100% okay with being wrong when I'm being negative. I want to be wrong. I want to be the asshole. I want to look stupid. Because if I look stupid when I'm being negative, it means things worked out. And in this circumstance, I might not have been wrong to be like, hey, this is going to be a problem. But I was wrong that it would have been. It worked.
About to say, we did not have a huge international incident.
Yeah, This could have been a lot worse, though. This could have been, two gringos killed our president by giving us shitty train cars, which would have been the narrative, but it wasn't, and it's all because like this stuff is well designed, well built, was built to last forever in the 70s, still runs for that reason. Isn't museum pieces, isn't carbon steel card. You see where I'm going with this? Isn't a fiberglass nose piece of.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hold on. Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show.
Yeah, so instead of that, the narrative now is going to be 5 gringos are humiliating our president and our navy and must be hunted down and killed like the dogs they are. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, God, I don't want to be it. I don't want to.
I want to go to Mexico City. I have friends.
I think that boat has sailed.
I legitimately think that you all have don't have to worry. There is going to be something
maybe
on
worry.
That's coming.
Maybe for a bit. I think maybe for like a year or so, I'm not going to go to Mexico, especially because again, I would have to fly to Mexico pretty much, and that's puts you under the jurisdiction of the Navy, the guys who.
Oh right.
Yeah, I've just been kind of suggesting a dangerously violent and incompetent. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I really, so in Mexico City, it's not as bad either. In Mexico City, there's adults, people that have been there, people that have been doing this for a while that understand that you don't just do, it's in these smaller towns where it's
I mean, this whole thing is absolutely baffling.
Oh, just you wait till we get to the real baffling part. The reason you're here, sir, is the most oh, I'm not the asshole in this at all moment.
Oh.
Yeah. In this intermission period, the travel advice here is maybe don't go to Chiapas or Oaxaca for a bit. And especially don't go to small southern towns where this is the only game in town.
All right, we're back.
Just don't be the reason they'd be mad. Don't go down there and get in a bar fight with a couple of Navy captains.
Tell me what to do.
I mean, it'd be way easier to assassinate me and Gareth because, at least the Mexican government has a good reason not to assassinate Americans. Nobody gives a shit about British people, and nor should I.
Rightly so, but
still kind of a rough realization to realize that I'm going to get shot at. I keep saying Takeria Goku because it's to me the funniest thing.
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but I think this isn't journalism. This isn't going to take off. I think the thing that's going to take off is once something happens.
Part 2 of this.
We have a curious kind of reach on this podcast.
Yeah, don't remind me.
We do.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of East Coast journalists listen to this podcast.
Yeah, it has a way of getting away from us, I think.
We're all going to die.
I'm at least going to lose my chance at a career, and that's okay. I hate trains.
That's fine. I will be found face dead in a thing of chalupas. So
face dead.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
Can we
I
move
died
way to go
doing
out.
what I loved, eating chalupas.
Can
Yeah.
All right.
Can we
All right.
move on, please?
Let's go.
All right, so here's what's
now,
left.
now he wants to go.
After an hour and a half, 2.5 hours.
Listen, all right, come on. Come on, Garrett still has his segment. That's gonna hurt. So this is what's left. It's the locomotives and the SPVs. That's the part of our section that was supposed to go between the two ports and be the train that interacts with the North American rail system AAR standards. And
Is it gonna?
yeah, contract's still on.
Cool.
Contract's still on, and we're going to deliver what we've promised. And
I can't wait to see what they're gonna weld to this.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
Liam and I have been in these cars.
Big
Yeah,
spoiler,
buddy.
maybe. Giant Mexican flag for patriotism sticking out the top.
well, they did.
Oh,
that.
they're going to paint. Have they painted these?
boy.
Because I remember my first ever appearance on this fine podcast, and I remember what happens when you paint stainless steel.
Well, no, that's when you. No, that's when you paint core 10. This will be fine.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's
So the
reassuring.
locomotives have
Don't
generators.
paint core 10 steel, everyone.
Yeah, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. They're good units. They sucked in the United States, but what it is they sucked because they were the replacement for the RDC as a coach car. They're Amfleet 1.5s. They'll be fine. The problem comes from our little surprise guest. Next slide.
Yes.
Oh, a surprise guest. Is it the Pope?
So
oh, no.
the broker, the broker went to frickin' London and bought some other train sets that are being retired.
Not to London, to like fucking Penzance. This is a GWR.
Yeah,
he
these
flew
are
to
later.
London, but yeah, he got these and kept saying they were for Train Maya, and the news picked it up as they're going to Train Maya, which is pretty much grade separated, not running with the AAR freight profile, and then
Someone
Maybe.
DM'd us to tell us this. Yes.
Rutro Raggy, what's that?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Who let this in here?
What are you doing, bro? It's lost, you know?
So now
Oh my goodness.
now it's in a
Just
rail yard
small
with
bean. Staff's anxiety.
Again, if you don't see the slides, this is an HST. It's a British HST. I don't know
it's a-
what it's. Why have you done this?
When I first saw the pictures that this was happening, I made a noise I didn't know I could make. I'm not necessarily saying it was kind of like it was like short horror is how I would describe the noise.
I got
yeah.
Mexicans to listen to the Great Heck episode talking about these things, specifically about this. The day this showed up, being like, "Oh my god, it's going to get blasted by a GE."
It's going to get blasted by a car.
The quite a few people that work for Pemex know the joke Land Rover Defendo now, and I find it funny as fuck.
Magnificent.
Anyway, so yeah, these are happening, and these are happening on the same railroad that's running oil trains, that's running container trains, that's running big ugly GE locomotives, it's running big ugly SD70 ACAEs. And next slide, please. See the little one? See the little guy?
Oh,
Oh, the little guy right here. Just a little guy.
Jesus.
Just a little birthday boy.
This is a train that was designed to be as light as possible by a bunch of short sleeve shirt wearing British rail engineers in the 1960s, early 70s.
You said shirt wearing with disdain.
Yeah.
It's a short sleeve shirt. I'm painting it. I'm painting an image for our fine
We
listeners.
need a bunch of guys in kilts and no shirts.
So
Pretty much, I'd support this,
Army
yeah.
of Garretts. Yes.
We need a bunch.
yeah,
We
that's
need
true.
a bunch of like the fucking what's the word? What's the guy? Highlanders. You know.
A bunch of Highlanders. Yeah, that'll do it. No, this is just a bunch of guys wearing corduroy trousers and blue shirts with the sleeves rolled up and mustache. Kind of just basically exactly what I look like when I go to work. Actually, in fairness,
But like in a 70s version where you've spent like the past 30 years smoking, you just kind of like everything is much more dismal. Yeah,
there's a lot more lead
exactly
in my
what you mean.
blood.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Yeah,
Fewer microplastics though, so it kind of swings.
They're also true. Yeah.
point, yeah.
They hadn't invented asthma. That's good.
Yeah.
I made this slide to compare like the types of wrecks, but there was a oopsie daisy and I forgot to put the other two. My bad. But I just want to point out that the HST
I see the point you're making.
is as tall as the window band of the Amfleets. One, and two, it disappears behind the oil tankers.
Yeah.
Which is
again, I'll just reinforce the point. Designed to be light so that it could achieve high speeds, 125 miles an hour in existing braking distances. So this thing is light, and
also what they've done is they've painted over with a shiny new livery. I assume also very poorly kerned with the like Gobierno de Mexico on that.
We'll get there.
And what they've done is they've painted over the big yellow high-vis face of it, which means that what you have in the sort of view from this is you have the experience of a child in front of a Ford Raptor in the dark wearing all black.
So I want you to, the point this was going to make is like when an Amfleet smacks a train at 60 mile an hour, it tends to just kind of like the people inside it get turned to glue, but it tends to not deform.
Yeah, you just hammer out the dents on the softer bits.
There's not crash management in it per se, but like Bud don't break. So it tends to be like it glances off. It does things where, and this is on the American freight rail system, it tends to just move.
To a certain extent, you got to have it, maintain integrity when it whacks into a CSX locomotive like you're seeing here. The locomotive's completely wrecked, but the train car, the passenger car is largely intact. People in there didn't have a good time, but,
Yeah, they're soup now.
But the people in that car didn't have a good time in the front.
Yeah.
The rear, they were a little wacky, but they were fine. In 1A8, that's the car on the bottom one, it rolled over and it's fine. It just ouchied a little. There's the point I'm trying to make going into what's coming is that they deform in ways that you wouldn't expect, like the one actually soda canned, but like you really have to try and break these things for them to break. And that's great when you have a network with a bunch of grade crossings with cars. When you have issues where, like, the two we sold, one got smacked by a backhoe, and I put it back in service. A guy, not Amtrak. So, it's they're fixable, one, but even more so that, like, they're hard to get to the point you have to do real work to unscrew them, and three, they're a lot safer because of it.
You have a lot more survivable space, right? You're not having
you have
a car
a lot
collapse into you and turn you into. You may be turned to mush from G-forces, but you won't be turned to mush from the car actually failing, which is at least one aspect there, which is better than the other one, where the car fails and then you get compressed into a sort of sardine can.
I think the best way I've ever heard it put, and then we'll move on, is it's a lot better to everything just goes blank all of a sudden from getting smacked versus getting shredded and bleeding out. And that's always been my thought with the American freight rail system.
Yeah.
Is I'd much rather just be like, ouch, instead of, oh no, But next slide, please. And at this point, I'm not the expert, but I can see something bad's about to happen.
I don't have a huge amount to say about this slide, but I'm going to just point out a few things. Yeah, Roz, maybe you want to point out a few things. So these are, on screen right now is some Mark III coaches designed in 1968, introduced in the early 70s. I will say, very safe coaches through their lifespan, from when they were introduced right the way through into the 80s, and indeed in some of the big rail crashes that happened in the UK in the 90s that these were involved in, they performed really well. Since then, though, they through the 90s, a load of crashworthiness standards were introduced, and everything else got a lot safer. These did not. So by modern measures, but also they're safe when they're running in amongst rolling stock that is the same size as it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Roz, you might have a couple of things to say about this, and then I'll get my teeth sunk into this.
Yeah.
This,
So
what the hell we're talking about here?
What we're looking at is one of these Mark III coaches, and it is coupled to a regular American freight car. This is a covered hopper that might be carrying. It looks like a shorter one, so that could be cement or something like that. Something really, really bulky and heavy, and that just if it were to whack into that at high speed, or even at medium speed, you're going to have some problems.
It looks a bit like someone has mixed two different model railway gauges together.
Exactly. Ironically, this one is OO and this one is real HO. But yeah, this is sort of the American freight car is very large. It's a very large thing. It's very heavy. It has a lot of momentum.
Of extra height again on top of this in terms of height alone.
Just a quick question: do we run our freight cars bigger than other countries, or are they standardized?
Only India and Russia have larger ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, the AAR style freight car is one of the biggest in the world.
Even if they were
place.
Standardized, Britain couldn't use them because we have a tiny Victorian loading gauge.
Yeah, our loading gauge is real tinsy.
Yep, Britain has the smallest loading gauge. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, the loading gauge is sort of just the size of car that will fit through bridges and tunnels and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the dimensions of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the United States, it's the plate system. You get plate A through G.
Yeah, and that doesn't have anything to do with track gauge.
Small. Yeah. Yeah,
it's very important to distinguish the fact that track gauge, which is the distance between the inside face of the running rails, and loading gauge are essentially entirely unrelated. Which is why when people talk about the Great Central Railway in the UK and try and when they talk about broad gauge and Brunel's broad gauge and say that would have magically made railways better if we'd adopted that, I tell them that they're idiots because, as you can see,
I hope
this
that's
is a
what
standard
you lead
gauge.
with. Just shut the fuck up.
This is a standard gauge railway, the same track gauge, and two very different loading gauges.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Gareth, it's actually based on Roman cart paths.
Yeah, had we not...
No, it is.
God.
It is.
Had we not built a bunch of tiny Victorian bridges and stuff, we could get the quick fix of doubling the capacity of the East Coast Main Line by putting double-decker carriages on there, but can't do it because of Victorians.
No, because we'd also have to widen the 6 foot because we have a really narrow 6 foot. The distance between the tracks is really narrow in the UK as well. So yeah, we'd have to rebuild our entire railway system. So anyway, maybe let's talk about let's. Roz, let's hop on to the next slide. Go for it.
Did they refit this with the knuckle coupler?
No, it does have that. Does look?
Oh, okay.
That does to me look like the Janny coupler that is standard on the interestingly only on the non-HST coaches. So these are the Mark IIIs that were built as loco haul coaches, not the HST ones, because the HST ones just had a drawbar sort of in between, a permanent drawbar, because they were a fixed formation.
I'm going to use the phrase hanging on by a thread of bringing this into the yard when they did it. It was, I wouldn't move a train at a mile an hour the way that came into that rail yard.
Oh my god.
So they just hooked this onto some freight cars and then moved it with that. Oh my Jesus.
And then put a chain around it.
How?
That was
Did
the
they
only
just
way it would
chain
stay.
between, because the
they just chained it.
coupler on the coupler on the US freight car there is, presumably halfway up the height of the coupler of the.
It's
Mark III.
right at the tip. I wish I had the picture that I can see in my head. It's right at the tip. It's close enough to where they were touching, but they chained it to
Touching
each other.
tips.
Just
Ooh.
yeah. It's real bad,
Nice.
man. Real bad. They're nice and rusty too.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Go on, Roz. Next slide. Let's talk about the HST.
Yeah, we'll talk about the HST a bit.
Why is there a Mazda here?
Why is there a Mazda here?
But I tell you what, Roz, I'm going to explain what the HST is. I'm going to say what is an HST, and I'm going to do that for 30 seconds, and then Roz can explain why a Mazda 323 is on this screen right now. The Intercity 125, introduced in the mid-70s in the UK, it was a fantastic train, and there's the what they originally looked like. That's they repainted a car there. That's Sir Kenneth Grange. They looked great. They were, this really sleek design. They were part of a massive transformation of Britain's rail network. Admittedly, they're part of the reason why our railways are kind of so screwed now, is because they worked too well. So they meant that we stopped bothering to electrify railways, and also we were just like, we don't need any new high-speed lines either, because these things kind of work. But they did. They were brilliant. They were comfortable. They were, okay, we're going to put the power car to one side. There were 2 power cars at each end, by the way, 2 diesel power cars with a bunch of these Mark III coaches in between. When I say a Mark III coach, British Rail, we went through this actually for a previous episode, so everyone should know. British Rail Mark I, Mark II, Mark III, and Mark IV coaches were all British Rail built coaches. We have Mark Vs now, but they're built by CAF and they're not very good at all. So Mark III coaches, as I say, they were really, the Mark III coach was very good. They rode very well. They were spacious. They were comfortable. They were most critically air conditioned, which I think is the thing that really made a difference to people traveling around. Big transformation in comfort. So they were great. They were successful. They traveled at 125 miles an hour. That's 200 kilometers an hour. Thanks to this train, Britain had and embedded itself as having the highest average speeds of passenger trains for a time in the world, but certainly in quite a lot of the world. Thanks to the fact that it meant that we cascaded a load of our other reasonably fast trains that then sped up local services as well. So this was a good train and a great success. But also you'll note that I'm using quite, 1970s here. This is not a new train.
There was a lot of was in that statement.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we, until far too recently, were still running these as frontline 125 mile an hour intercity services. And yes, there are a series of problems with these. And as Roz is about to do in this bit related to the Mazda 323, object deflectors in front of the front bogies is an example of a thing that was not very good on them.
Yes.
Because when an Intercity 125 gets snazzy with a Mazda 323 from some absolute who has decided to commit suicide on a level crossing, well, Roz, next slide, please. Yeah, the bad things happen after nerve it.
Yes.
I'm going to slightly come to the defense of the train here, because actually the train was upright and safe, and actually, okay, some damage to the front power car, but would have been much safer, except it then hit some redundant S&C and went everywhere. And you can see this is not good. This was not going at full speed. This is a train going about 100 miles an hour. Bad things have happened here.
What's S&C?
Sorry, points, switches and crossings. Forgive me, using my nomenclature. Yes, you can see the points that it hit. So the train was running upright and in line and would have just continued, it was losing energy, running in the ballast. It would have probably safely come to a stop without killing all the people it killed, had it not hit this redundant S&C that was located far too close to a level crossing and should have been removed and made safe years before. I lecture on this. It's a particularly good example of switch on all the levels in your CAD, you dopes, when doing design. Anyway, right, okay. I'm going to go to the next slide so we can talk about crashworthiness. Here is a reasonably modern train cab. This is what it looks like. On the left, you can see there is a fiberglass thing that makes it look pretty. On the right is the actual rail vehicle. And you can see there's a load of stuff going on here. There is protective sort of steel, very carefully steel reinforced cab framework to protect the driver. There is energy absorbing sort of crumple metal that you can see in the kind of the black there is sort of metal that's designed to kind of crumple in a very carefully designed way to absorb a maximum amount of energy up to certain levels. You're right, Ross, the first time. The ones at
the ones at the bottom.
At solar bar level. Yeah. You can see at the front there's the ribbed thing is called an anti-climber. So that there means that if you've got a low-speed collision with another train, the fiberglass shatters and sort of the trains lock into each other, so it stops them overriding each other and telescoping. The coupler absorbs a lot of energy as well. This is designed to absorb energy There's a load of lots of FE kind of finite element analysis to make sure, and testing, physical testing to make sure this thing protects the driver in a collision with another train at kind of lower speeds, or with a tractor at a level crossing, all this sort of stuff. Next slide, please. Here is a conveniently cross-sectioned HST cab.
What if you just had all of the fiberglass and none of the steel?
Correct.
Yeah.
The HST cab
Saves
here on
so much weight.
Yeah, it saves weight. Well, I mean, literally, yes, much of it. But also, we didn't care about our drivers. They were in unions.
You got a big door now, so you can leave.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, you can see.
We blasted this convenient hole for you.
Yeah. So in the previous slide, you had the cab fiberglass had been removed, so you could see this protective structure underneath. As you can see here, we've just very conveniently not used CGI. In fact, we've used some coal wagons to cut a cross section in the HST cab here, and you can see what the crash structure is formed of. It's formed of an upturned bathtub, and that's it. This is just a fiberglass cover sat on top of basically a flatbed car onto which the engine is also strapped. This is there is no protection for the driver here at all. So that's the left-hand side. That was one of the Paddington rail crashes, one of the crashes on the approach to Paddington. On the right-hand side is the recent Parliament derailment. The kind of cylinder shape that you can see in the middle of the screen, buried under some trees and on fire, is the remains of an HST power car. The driver was killed in this image, because the cab structure, taking what's known as the desk with it, so that's the desk that has all the controls for the train, was simply just basically removed in the impact this had with the ground. The cab structure just simply fell off at speed and essentially totally disintegrated, leaving just the flatbed bit, and you can see the back wall of the cab there, that white at the end, on the kind of the right-hand side of that's the back of the inside of the cab. In fact, you can see it's the same as the back of the inside of the cab on the left-hand side. You can sort of see it's the same thing. And then just the battered remains of the engine. There is no crashworthiness to this vehicle. It's hopeless. By modern standards, absolutely hopeless. To be fair, by any standards, when this thing was introduced, it had no crashworthiness. So that's the cab. So as you can imagine, that's the bit that's going to collide with a big train.
Yeah.
If such a thing might happen.
Or
and
a pickup truck
go well.
like stalled on the tracks, or
farm vehicle.
Fucking the ground. If
just a cart, a horse,
truck full of anvils.
Land Rover, Defendo.
Yeah,
a
tanker truck. A tanker truck would be very likely.
Yeah, one of those Pemex double tankers. That'll be fun.
Yeah, this right of way has very few protected crossings, but quite a lot of unprotected crossings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not great. What about so that's the driver total. What about the passengers? Let's go to the next
they don't look
slide.
like they're doing too good.
I
was right.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the Mark III coach. Now there are reasons why these Mark III coaches ended up being bent completely over. The collisions that were involved were very high speed collisions. We're talking 125 miles an hour. These at 45 miles an hour, they will actually perform really well in a collision, even with a big, nasty American-sized locomotive. The Mark III coaches will actually perform remarkably well. You will be surprised how well they will perform. However, they are old, and they, as I say, lack any modern crashworthiness standards. So these are steel monocoque coaches, but they are also over 50 years. These are 55-year-old coaches. They're, okay, not all of them were built 55 years ago, but the design of these is 55 years old now. And you can see that if you get the forces wrong, they are just bent. They completely disintegrate, and you lose any protected space. Let's pop on to the next slide.
I assume this G here is for good. All the people were good in here, right?
Let's go
Just
with
say
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it actually?
It's the coach number. Actually, it's just the coach designation for the investigators and for the emergency services.
I thought this was two different coaches, and I was like, why is there G on that other one?
No,
it's just like
same one.
It's just folded like a penknife. Okay.
Same coach, completely folded over. Yeah. So this is After Nerva again, this picture that we're looking at. And this is a good picture to kind of talk about everything that isn't good on these coaches. So firstly, this coach has rolled over and had a bogey, which is the name of what the US you call the trucks, the thing that the wheels are attached to, that has flown off it and landed through it. It doesn't look very happy, as you can see. This is so we're going to start from the ends and work our way in. The first thing we're going to talk about is passenger vehicle integrity. As you can see in the previous images, there wasn't any left. In this one, it's not as bad. So the windows have all shattered, or most of them have shattered, which isn't good because people fly out of them. But the actual vehicle has not been too badly compromised, other than in the middle where there is a 5.5-ton bogey in it, or 5.5-ton truck. So that's the first thing is that these are fine if they crash in line, but as soon as there's something that spreads them around, things don't go so well. So the first thing is passenger vehicle integrity. They don't have modern collision energy management, as in they don't distribute energy through the coach like modern trains do. So a lot of forces get distributed randomly. The reason you have collision energy management partly is to reduce how much the accelerations people in the train experience in a crash, but also it's so that the energy is distributed in a controlled, predictable way, so that you don't get weird buckling. So that a bit like the picture of the front of the cab earlier. The front of the train has bits of metal that are designed to crumple. They're designed to kind of do the thing that happens if you crush a loo roll in your hand. Like anything cardboard, it sort of crushes in a funny sort of crumpled up shape, and that absorbs energy. This doesn't have that. So that's one thing. The next thing that's really quite bad with these is bogey retention, is the truck retention. These things, basically, you can just lift them off the trucks and there is nothing holding the truck to the vehicle, which is why this one, as you can see, doesn't have any left.
There's no locking center pin?
Two 5.5-ton things with wheeled bogies at
exactly.
Whatever.
So these things, they disappear off. They, exactly as you say, become 5.5-ton projectiles. Now, once again, in what these are going to be used for, lower speeds, that's not going to happen. They're going to stay in one piece. But if they get hit, if you hit them with a lump hammer, i.e. a big G locomotive, there's a lot of energy being flung around. So yes, the bogey can fly off as projectiles. We've already talked about the couplers. The couplers on these are crap. They have absolutely no resistance in either the vertical or a twisting plane, so they just break immediately. The thing you always want to happen with a train crash, okay, there's some academic debate on this, but I think the majority of if you're going to do a Cochrane review on it, I think the evidence is that you want your train to stay in one piece, because it's more likely to stay upright. It's less likely to spread out and do the thing that happened here after Nerva. You want it to stay in line, so couplers need to be strong, and the couplers on these coaches are not strong. The last problem with these, they don't have anti-climbers, which is the thing with the little ribs, but they're okay, so fine. So quite a lot of trains don't have that. But the last thing of these is they are, as I said, decades old. And in the Carmont collision, or indeed if you speak to any poor fucker who has to maintain these things that are still running, by the way, in Scotland, sorry, Alice, they are absolutely riddled with rust. They are so rusty because they're steel. And they've been running for decades. In Britain, Britain is the country equivalent, the geographical equivalent of a wet sponge you've left on the side of your kitchen sink. It's so wet here. It smells that bad too, by the way.
It's cold and wet, and now we're sending them to the part of Mexico which is hot and wet, which is going to be even better, I assume.
Oh,
yes, these are going to rust away like an Austin Allegro. It's going to be magical. They are just not so all of that, as I said, in the 70s, 80s and 90s, particularly in the 80s and 90s when they did have a few heavy collisions, they performed really pretty damn well, but they were still in reasonably good condition at that point. They are very much not anymore. So next slide, please.
Oh, it's a
so we just paint them and make them look nice.
The guys.
Oh yes, we're gonna run them.
The girls on it. Yeah,
it has the girls on it. Yeah, it has.
I'm going to hand back to Scooter to talk about how everything that I've just said is definitely not a problem. Probably.
Well, I mean, so you kept saying that these will be fine if they bump something and stay together, but the American rail system doesn't work that way.
Yes.
It sounds the way it sounds to me is if
and then the reason, you're exactly, because again in the UK we actually do have complete signaling systems that are pretty effective and protective. In fact, the reason that these HSTs crashed in the 90s on the Great Western Main Line into London was because they'd isolated these safety systems for various stupid reasons. So we actually do have good protective systems that stop big collisions happening in the UK generally. So yeah, those don't exist on this line. I don't know what the signaling arrangements are on here, or if there are any.
Have you ever seen the movie Under Siege 2: Dark Territory? That's what's about to happen here.
Alice keeps threatening me with watching it for an episode of another podcast.
That's
to
right.
Go and watch. Yes. So at some point I will. I've been saving it.
I am extremely excited for that episode. It's one of my favorite bad movies. With another disaster train in it, the Colorado Railcar Marlboro train cars.
God, that's another episode.
Yeah, we wanted to do that.
Point being is like stuff hangs off the side of loads all the time. So it sounds like one, you get a big heavy oopsie that bonks these that's just going to implode. The thing that concerns me the most is running in dark territory. Like, yeah, you might have not even a passenger train on passenger train, although watching an Amfleet go through one of these would be an interesting
I think go
crash.
through is the correct way to describe how that would go.
But like one of these freight
Something
trains,
more than telescoping.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, the one that like you get the waking nightmares about is the container train. Hitting that SD-70 and then a bunch of objects get loose and go for this. And even if they don't hit, all it takes is a container train laying over. And there are sightings, but it's not good railroad. There's also been landslides through this railroad.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that scares me. So the picture that I showed you from Carmen, the Stonehaven crash, the kind of the green one a few slides back, of the remains of this one.
Yeah.
That was it was actually a failed drainage system that washed out onto the track. But to all intents and purposes, it kind of the equivalent. If the effect was a landslide, and that's what I'm thinking is actually the threat, because these will not perform well under those circumstances. Frankly,
there's that, and then there's also the Pemex double tanker truck, and the guy driving his 1980 whatever, anything, just sitting out there not knowing that this thing's about to come through at 60 mile an hour and just launching it in one of these rough track scenarios where anything that the track can essentially do anything because it's not set properly, and now the train's going to do anything because it ain't set up for this.
Also, these are designed for these, relatively speaking, things have got a bit bad recently because of inverted commas network rail modernization. But generally, our track quality is pretty damn good in the UK. Perhaps not compared to our mainland European colleagues, but certainly compared to the US, I dare say our track quality outside of the Acela, the Northeast Corridor, track quality is really good. And that's what these were designed to ride on.
Yeah. And then I guess the last thing I want to bring up is there a parts availability for these, like not used parts?
There is not, no, because there are loads of them in sidings. So actually, yes, there are loads of parts going around. But for the power cars, these things are actually, the good thing about these is that they're at a point where obsolescence wasn't such a thing because everything is like electromechanical or just raw mechanical. So so actually, the things that replace these on the East Coast Main Line, we're nerding out now, and this won't take long. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, everyone listening. Actually, you all love this. The hogs love this, so it's fine.
They've already been here for like 3 hours, Gareth. It does not matter.
The things that replace these, the Class 91s and Mark 4s, the 225 sets, were built in the late 80s and early 90s, and actually have kind of in a way been outlived by some of these because of a lot of big, it's like all the PCBs are printed on like a centimeter thick PCB, and all the electronics looks like 3 times too big because it was when you had all the electronics, but it was old electronics. So actually, those have become more obsolescent than the kit in this, which is all like it's just a diesel engine and it's all pretty lunky. Mechanical or just electromechanical stuff.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, like with say the Amfleets, for instance, like there's only one stream of parts, and it's mainly through a company called Wabtec, which there's another episode, but like there's this evil company based in Pennsylvania called Wabtec where you can get most of it, but like you get into some of the heritage cars, especially like the domes and stuff, and they're really you can get it made, but not in any kind of reasonable timeline. Where it sounds like you can pillage the other train sets, but is there like an actual production still?
No, there absolutely is not. And that's part of the reason these are retired is that, there was no source of new parts for these. You just have to pillage a load of other 50-year-old trains to find something that's vaguely better.
So if it gets like sideswiped in the rail yard with no one on it, that train set's now
I don't even
out of
know if
service.
there's a supply of the fiberglass cabs left anymore. So there used to be a pile of them in the various depots because they'd get hit by, like a really bad bird strike or something that would shatter the nose, and you just swap the cab nose out.
The idea of that in the United States is impossible, man. You hit a bird hits one of these locomotives, it explodes on our side. Okay, well that doesn't make me feel any better. So it's pretty much like there was this huge thing in the beginning where they were worried about spending the people's money on something that wasn't going to work or be easy to keep running, and it sounds like it's
oh dear,
yeah.
Sounds like they did both of those things.
It sounds like because it was available, it was there. And there's one more thing, I promise, is I don't understand why everyone that in Britain that sees these things goes like, oh, it's so great they made it to the United States or the North America.
Because Britain is a stupid fucking country filled with nostalgist morons.
Everybody that's involved,
that's
including the 125 group, is like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. The 125s will run forever in Mexico. And it's like, what?
They'll run for a couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah, until they wipe out and kill everybody.
The first operational power car of these has been in the National Railway Museum in York for years. Like I cannot overemphasize the extent to which these are heritage museum pieces.
Right, where our museum pieces are just because they're outdated, but they're built to last forever. Like again, the dome, like you could hit the dome with one of the battleships, and I would question which one would win. So
this is a question I've been having as I've been watching this developing is where the fuck is the railway press? Like,
It's
us.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, if you're like Trains Magazine or you're like Railway Age or you're someone, and you look at this and you say, holy shit, they're sending HSTs to Mexico. Should you be saying, wow, they're sending HSTs to Mexico? Or should you be saying,
why are they doing that?
Why are they doing that? Are they running it in mixed traffic with freight trains? Holy crap, have they built the Abuela killer?
I can tell you why that is, because certainly for the UK railway press, the backlash I got when I criticized these trains after Carmen was absolutely enormous. People wrote articles, they shouted at me, they screamed at me, they sent me little emails like telling me to politely withdraw what I'd said. People absolutely lost their fucking minds, and it's just because they grew up with these trains, they saw them as modern when they were kids, and they believe that they are the fucking that they came out of, that they were unsheathed like by I'm going to say a little bit of blasphemy, so maybe I won't. But anyway, let's just they came out of God's anus. That's what they think. No Christian blasphemy. Don't worry, Alice. I'm not. I know who to shout at.
I've got this HST with a livery I've drawn on it of the Prophet Muhammad.
I
know why the railway press in the UK has just gone, oh look, that's nice. They're going to run there. Isn't that fantastic? They're going to have a comfier ride than us on our plastic crap we have here. Shut the fuck up.
Well, and this. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, and like here, like Trains Magazine has written like a small number of articles about the Interoceánico and the Tren Maya, and most of it's just like, oh wow, look, they have these Chinese locomotives of this model number, or oh look, they've brought in the HSTs, or oh look, this is the first Amfleets in Mexico. No one's actually ever substantially reported on this project, like at all, like in a way that maybe you would be critical of it in any fashion from the railroad aspect.
This is going to be the first running nationalized railroad in Mexico in years, and no one has said anything about it in the United States, which they jizz themselves over El Chepe anytime it's brought up, or the tequila train. They're just like, oh my God, it's the best ever. And you're like, one thing we've experienced a lot, and why I know that I'm not worried about the government of Mexico. They don't scare me compared to the foamers, because the second we released, we were sending the dome down there. Everybody's like, it's gone forever. They scrapped all the cars down there. That place is a shithole. It wrote it off. And it's like, okay, even if it goes poorly, that happened because after NDM, they had no reason to keep the cars, right? And that happened in the United States. After Amtrak didn't need cars, they scrapped a lot. What you got out of it was the leftovers.
It's not like Mexico can't run a railroad because some inherent Mexicanness. It's because of the same reasons that any of our countries also routinely fuck up those things.
It's like the opposite problem of what's happening with HST. They want to run it, but they want to run it now, not in 5 years when it's designed and built and ready. It's they want to go in the next couple of hours. You can like trains
too much and you can like trains too little. And what you want is a kind of medio-ear. You want like a middle way. You like trains just enough, but you like them when they're practical.
Exactly. So next slide, please.
But I'm just saying, you should be able to look with your eyes and say, there is a problem here that could potentially kill a lot of people. And I think it's your duty as the railroad press, because maybe
about it.
To say something. To say something about
railroader.
something you should be able to see with your eyes.
Presumably your area of expertise, right?
Yeah,
anything. Yeah. No, I know. And just real quick, can you line the top of that tank car? That
oh yeah,
same height.
Yeah.
As even it's okay. God forbid that they never have a head-on to head-on. Cool, great. If that thing leans too much, it's just going to go right down head height of the cars.
Yeah. Has anyone seen a picture of a high caliber bullet going through an egg in extreme slow motion? Yeah. I'm just not going to say anything more. I'm just going to leave that image in people's minds.
Yeah, I think that maybe should be the takeaway from this podcast: is this thing is going to kill someone. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Not in the bright line fun way of like going through the bowling alley. It's going to be the somebody just riding the train is going to eat it because the train is not set up to run there.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
God.
And we're 60 days away from it.
Oh my God.
60 days away, and the thing we haven't talked about is the Vosloo thing.
I don't want to go there because it's the dumbest thing.
Why? What are you, bro? What are you doing there?
Here? Give it to us.
So
give it to us. We're about to crack 3 hours. Let's do it.
Yep. So this is they delivered this thing a couple years ago for the Pueblo to Cholula tourist train, which ran from the Mexican National Railway Museum to Cholula, which is sort of touristy area, right? That line shut down after 2 years. They had 2 of these diesel electrical multiple units from a company called Vosloo, and it was made in Germany. This one, at least, I believe, has a stronger crash structure.
It does, but
because it's a tram. It's meant to hit some German's fucking Mercedes on his way back from the precision machine machining factory, right? Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, you smell toast after that?
I believe these things are.
Don't ask what they were doing
machining
in
precision parts.
I believe these same things run on the. What is it? Is it Manchester that has the
Metrolink? Yes. Yeah, I was going to say. I think these are very similar to Metrolink. Yeah. These are trams, so they're not built for mainline crashworthiness. They might have crashworthiness. They're better than the HSTs in terms of low speed crashworthiness at the cab end, But these are not designed for mainline crashworthiness. They are designed as trams, as exactly as Alex said. They're designed to collide with each other and with road vehicles.
Well, there's like one though.
This was designed as a tram train.
God, I'm sorry I keep trying to jump in, but it's important that there's only one of these. It was eminent domain from that because they weren't using it effectively. I don't really know how it played out, but like they got it. They put it in the livery and have been like putzing it because there's just 2 other right of ways as part of this corridor, the one to Train Maya and then another shorter one. And I go back to, again, no one knows what's going on. There's no plan. They might use this to go port to port, but they might use it to just shuttle people.
A genuinely sensible way to use this bit of rolling stock would be if there was a non-freight little branch or a very low freight little branch that connected to another town. This would actually be fantastic for that. Just a little shuttle that ran back and forth. It would work quite nicely in that situation. Running it on the main corridor amongst the freights, no.
I believe what most recent news I've heard is this is supposed to shuttle you from Coatzacoalcos to the Tren Maya station somewhere in Tabasco.
That's still a corridor with lots of crossings, but okay.
It's lots of crossings, lots of freight.
So crossing's not such a big deal because this thing's a tram train and it can cope with it. But the freight, yes, bad. It should not be running amongst heavy rail.
And again, there's only one. There's not like a fleet of these. So like when it breaks, what do you do?
Oh, that's it.
I think there might be
I haven't
2.
seen the other.
I'm not sure.
No one knows. That's the thing. Well, there's no press about
no one knows. Yeah, no one knows. This has been another problem with both this and Tren Maya is no one knows. Everyone just does stenography for press releases. My God.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you can maybe look at Google Maps if it updates at the right time and see where something has happened.
But this is also why like this episode was prudent to do now. Because again, I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind this working. But the reality is this could just like done as soon as they start in 2 months.
This could murder a lot of people. But
that's the reality is without saying anything like this is something is coming. But the question is, did they just blow a lot of money? Or is this actually, are they going to do what the initial plan was and run with a bunch of cars built for the North American system and just run very few times? Or are we going all in? And the mad dash right now is all in. Next slide. So the meme had to be updated, knowing what we know now, and names had to be removed, and it's just this is where we are. There's a lot of people that are losing sleep over this, including down there, up here, on this podcast. And then there's a lot of people that are like, "Yay, trains!" And the train's not always good.
That's not
how many HSTs have they actually brought over?
We don't know. I know
that's always a great sign.
I know 2 have made it.
I believe they brought two whole sets.
There's
we know
a
that
lot
much.
more that were bought. So we just don't know for what.
Good.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Bought the whole fleet.
Jesus.
This is where it is. They're both going to run at some point, hopefully not next to each other. The drone footage of them passing each other is going to live in my brain forever.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of very thinks they're smart people that think this is the coolest thing ever, and it's not. It's
right.
I am glad to have been a part of it and delivered what I can and hopefully can finish. Please let us deliver the rest. I don't like my job, but I still need it. But like at the end of the day, the stuff I've worked on, I have no issues with, especially now, like the trip was ran and it worked. I know once it gets there, it's North American train stuff. Like you can get the parts, you can run it on the main line and oopsie daisy. And it happens like every 3 days on Amtrak. I'm not concerned. The concern is the, oh God, what else is there? And, it's what I've learned, especially today, is that it's a lot worse than I thought it was.
Yeah. It just keeps getting worse.
We can keep digging.
But it's not because the people that know what they're doing haven't said anything. So
No. It's because all of those people have been assassinated by the Mexican Navy.
I have a child.
They'll send you to Mexico City. They'll give you a promotion so they're out of your hair.
I just want to see the museums, buy some like silver jewelry or something. Try the food, please.
Try the food big time, yeah. I'm so hungry and want to eat Mexican. I have a half-finished stir-fry downstairs. I'm definitely going to go downstairs and nibble after this.
I hugely appreciate Mexican cinema. I did particularly enjoy the works.
It's not going to save you.
Yeah,
it's not gonna save you.
I know.
They're going to be too focused on their own shit. I think.
Yeah.
One hopes.
When the Abuela killer finally runs.
Yeah, when the Abuela killer 5000 finally goes down the corridor and just wipes out every city through there right after the oil train tops over, they won't give a shit about this podcast anymore.
Oh hell yeah!
I was about to
sneak
say,
under the radar once
And that
again.
statement right there is why when I'm in here again going, anybody want a rail expert? You know why? What happened?
Yeah.
And that's your WTYP promise.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. So the first disaster we've done before it happened.
Oh yeah, good for us.
Public service.
All right, what did we learn?
A whole bunch of shit. Like a
Yeah,
whole
like
bunch.
if anything,
like
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, way to go, assholes.
We know too much.
I would say that I know too much personally.
I personally never signed anything.
Yeah, you didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to go and get ourselves gotten by the Men in Black memory eraser thing. Yeah. So, we have a segment on this podcast called Safety Third.
Si, senor.
I had a 50% chance there.
Shake hands with
I don't
danger.
want to be assassinated. I don't want to be assassinated.
Dear Milkshake, Pizza Boy, and others.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah, we'll give him that.
Okay, yeah. All right, the Pizza Boy had to go back to his home planet,
wrong-o.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Milkshake's still here, though. In my senior year of high school, I took a capstone project engineering class at the Redactedville Career Center. It was a well-run vocational school with an award-winning safety-conscious faculty, but they didn't count on my friend, Jesse Kogaski.
Who we would refer to as J-Dog.
Yeah, J-Dog, Jamal Kogashev, whatever that guy's name was.
Jamal Khashoggi.
Jamal
Yeah.
Khashoggi, yeah. A man who I have since described as a walking OSHA violation.
God bless.
Jesse is a passionate and motivated creative, but he is, in his own words, terminally stupid.
Oh.
I mean, listen.
Yep.
That's what we are for doing
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're all going to be assassinated, which is a shame. I liked being alive.
Me too.
One day after school had ended and most people had left the building, Jesse and I were still hard at work. I was staying late, frantically finishing the report for my engineering project, a strategy that had prepared me all too well for engineering school. Jesse...
Why would you go to engineering school?
It's a bad
Yeah,
idea,
don't
don't do it. Jesse had just successfully demonstrated a wood gas stove that he built from scratch and was disassembling it. Now, unlike a normal wood fire, wood gas stoves preheat the firewood, causing it to release gases, which are then burned. This reduces soot emissions, but these stoves require a gas pilot light to heat the wood and start the reaction. The propane pilot light on Jesse's stove was connected to the tank. with a flexible rubber tube and a daisy chain of adapters that he bought on Amazon. See Figure 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, propane flow is this way for some reason. Now, perhaps if he had consulted a reputable seller of propane and propane accessories, see Figure 2, this story would have ended differently. At approximately 4:45 p.m. in the afternoon, as I was frantically... That's different from the normal way that it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I was frantically typing up the conclusion of my report, I heard a loud hissing sound and saw Jesse and our teacher standing in a cloud of expanding white vapor. I began to smell gas, and I grabbed my bag and rushed out of the room. The teacher managed... Yeah, exactly. Don't go into confined space, and if you are in the confined space, get out.
Leave.
Yeah.
Hit the bricks.
If you will.
Yes.
Yeah. The teacher managed to get the tank of leaking gas into a plastic bin and dragged it outside while I waited anxiously next to a fire alarm. Once the bottle of gas was outside, I relaxed a little and returned to work in an adjacent room that didn't smell of gas. Our teacher set up fans to ventilate the space as the remaining propane vented harmlessly to the atmosphere. There's an asterisk here.
Oh, God.
We'll get to that later. Apparently, Jesse had decided to unscrew adapter 2. Sure. Before removing the propane tank from adapter 1.
Oh.
See Figure 3.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. If he had just unscrewed the tank, the automatic valve would have closed and the tank would have been sealed. But by just removing adapter 2, Jesse had removed the only barrier to the release of pressurized gas. See Figure 4.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well,
That's
it was
ideal,
only,
right?
Yeah. Well, it was only a pound of propane. Our classroom only had one exit and no windows.
Yikes.
Wow, it sounds like a Drexel University situation.
Yeah, you deserve... sorry, it's a garden classroom.
Oh, yeah, it's the garden level, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see any plants down there. Anyway. So if I had been soldering instead of typing up a report, this could have been significantly more serious.
Yeah.
I thought
that
would be the end of Jesse's misadventures with gas, but I was wrong.
Oh, no.
One night when we were watching a movie together at his house, he offered to fry a couple pierogies for my friend and I. We enjoyed them thoroughly and returned to our movie. At that time, as if inspired by a sixth sense, cue Shake Hands with Danger riff.
Oh, I got a 50% chance.
Shake hands with danger.
Got it.
Yeah.
I asked Jesse in the most condescending tone humanly possible, did you remember to turn off the stove?
You're like, wow, I'm really enjoying the taste of these like propane made pierogies. This pierogi doesn't have any of the kind of like like gasoline sort of texture of like your non-propane grill. Did you remember to turn the stove off?
As he went into the kitchen to double check, I began to feel guilty for distrusting him. Don't feel guilty. That's called crew resource management.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, never be different to someone just because they're more experienced in making the pierogi.
Yeah. That feeling was immediately vindicated when he informed me that he had left the skillet of frying oil unattended on a hot burner.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah. Now Jesse is attending art school and as of yet hasn't managed to poison or incinerate himself while developing film.
Wait, is he the guy who burned the Glasgow School of Art down twice?
yeah, Muriel Gray, here pseudonymized.
I, meanwhile, am trudging through my undergraduate degree in nuclear engineering.
Sorry.
I hope to work in process safety, an interest to which I credit to this podcast and the U.S. Chemical Safety Board.
Oh.
Thank you.
The classes are tough, but the model trains make it a lot better. Sincerely, Reacted.
No, redacted,
Greenhouse gas. Yeah. Its greenhouse gas emission was comparable to burning a quart of gasoline.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that will do it. Yeah.
Yep. Folks, remember to handle pressurized gases safely.
And also switch your oven off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was Safety Third.
Oh, si, senor.
So, our next episode is on Chernobyl, assuming that nothing happens to any of us. We are all of sound mind and body.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to reiterate that it's the foamers that are going to kill us for talking bad about their choo-choo.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Mexican Navy wasn't going to do it until the last Si Senor throw. Really tipped the scales.
We did it.
Does anyone have commercials before we go?
Yeah, Gareth has a podcast called Rail NASA. You should go and listen to it.
Thanks, Alice. Alice has a podcast, and Devin. Oh, shout out to Devin. Devin, I am so we're all sorry. We're all so sorry, Devin.
This is like editor sadism to be like, yeah, this is the most critical episode to edit we've ever done, so as we don't get killed. Also, it's 14,000 years long.
Yes.
Yeah, you should listen to
I'm
Devin and Alice
so
and Abigail's
sorry.
podcast, Kill James Bond. Go listen to that. It's very
you.
The latest season is very good. I'm enjoying it very much.
Oh, thank you so much.
I listen to it when my little one is attached to me sleeping because she cannot sleep without being attached to me on a carrier.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Had to get that last reminder in, didn't you?
We are
have a
almost
child.
at 100,000 subscribers. Please like, subscribe. Yeah,
Subscribe.
smash the subscribe button.
If you haven't done that, how have you listened to
doing
3 hours of this and not subscribed to the channel?
I'm doing a big, stupid YouTube gamer face right now. You can't see that though. But yeah, just give us the plaque. Give us the plaque. I'm sick of going over to Alan Fisher's apartment and seeing his plaque when I don't have one.
It's messed up. We would have to pay to get like 2 other plaques made, and I'm still gonna do it. Like I'm gonna pay whatever they tell me to.
Yeah, exactly. So subscribe to the podcast so I can have a status symbol. Anyway.
This has been fun. Thanks so much for inviting me on as the kind of the additional body count. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, of course, always.
And Scooter, thanks for telling us this absolutely insane story.
Yeah, I was about to say. I hope we manage to sell the film rights.
Yeah, no kidding. I just hope I'm allowed to finish the project and have a job after this. But
yeah, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You cause an international incident. Okay.
Yeah.
all right, tried. Already got close. What's another?
Well, I think that was a podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night.